All right, hello, welcome everybody. Oh my goodness, I forgot how, I've literally, it's been a bit, I forgot how disoriented this window is. Give me uno momento, por favor. We're gonna move this over here because that will be important, and I can now change this window capture because I think this window capture accounts for, I want to say it accounts for tier maker. Is this the one that, yeah, this is the one that counts for tier maker. Perfect. Okay. Let me also get on my webcam real quick. Oh, you know what? That would explain why my webcam is not on, and neither are my lights for some reason. Why are my lights not on? Why do I keep accidentally hitting the wrong button? There we go. Okay. Let's see. Set focus real quick. And there we go. Okay, perfect. For some reason, looks really dark in my webcam. I'm not sure why. We'll have to figure that out. Yeah, for some reason, this looks really dark. Also, that is really fucking big. Let me make that smaller. Why? Oh, you know what? Wait, I think my aperture is set too low. There we go. Okay. Much better. Much better. Oh, God. I accidentally set my auto keybind. I was about to just start mass typing there. Okay. So we should be good. It's been a while since I've done a stream. Like a while. So first things first. Does it sound fine audio-wise right now? Does everything sound good? If anyone in the chat could just let me know, that would be very much appreciated. If not, just let me know like what needs adjusting, and I can take care of that pretty quickly. Also, welcome Mark Zard World. How are you doing today? We're gonna be doing some Little Cup VGC, and I will say, if for anyone who saw the Little Cup VGC video on the channel, I'll probably forward to it at the end of the stream, I guess, for anyone who didn't. But that was for Paldea decks. This is definitely gonna be more of a national deck sort of thing. Where I'm actually partnered with this one Discord server. They're going to be linked down below. That is essentially working towards a National Dex Little Cup VGC format. So, we're going to be doing a tier list on the side today, ranking literally all these Pokemon, while also doing some games in between. Audio is good. Thank you, Keegan. I knew I could trust you. Also, welcome, Keegan. How are you doing today? Let me grab a team real quick. Well, actually, I do have a team. I have one team. I literally made a sample. So yeah, we'll be doing that, though. It should be a fun time, I think. I think realistically it should be a good stream. And yeah, let me just really quickly also tweet out that we're live, because I forgot to do that. Not that Twitter is a sustainable platform right now, but I forgot to push there anyway, and I almost have an audience. Let's see. And bam. Okay, perfect. And there we go. Okay, sweet. So yeah, what I'll probably do to start off with, just for the sake of, I don't know. I don't want to start like right over the battles, but I will get into them in a bit. I do want to actually start off getting at least like a little bit of progress in the tier list. What I'll probably do is I want to get through at least the first, we'll say through like the Growlithes, just to start off with. I'll probably do some battles in between, like afterwards, and just like splice in between as we have them. But I do want to at least start off a bit with the tier list, because we do have a lot of Pokemon to go through, and I think at least, for anyone, I guess, who is here, going through, like, it's like just over 2 rows of Pokemon should be enough to kind of get an idea of, you know, what the format's going to be. This is obviously a Dex format, so there's a lot of new things. Like, for example, if you were to play in Paldea Dex, Cottony does not get Tailwind. However, if you were to play this in National Dex, Cottony is like a, for this format, essentially, might actually be better to start off with this. This here is a part of, and let me set this to a different window capture. Because I can just make this whatever when I need to. There we go. Okay, perfect. So essentially this is, I'm procrastinating an online quiz. No, don't procrastinate your quiz. I appreciate you stopping by, but don't procrastinate tests. Even though I would do the same. So essentially though, this is our roll sheet. This is all this information that I will be using today. And I'll look to hopefully, assuming that, I mean, I am a mod there. I doubt that they'll fight me on it, but I'm gonna hopefully put this finished tier list in there by the end of the stream. But this information that I'm going to be using on stream, as well as any other information that I will be doing, is all in the Discord description below. Specifically, you're going to be looking for the Discord that is tagged under LC VGC Resources. It is a whole separate Discord where you can get different battles for this unofficial ladder. It's really well managed. I'm looking forward to, of course, getting to work with this more in the future. And I'd like to do some more Little Cup VGC streams, because I find it to be a fun format. I've played a few games with the mods, and it's been a fun time. But anyway, so essentially what this format is This is a VGC LC format. Essentially it plays similar to like our Reg G format where you get like one restricted. Now, the restricted, it's not all literally Pokemon like Basculin or like Girafarig that are like unintended evolutions. There are some actual restricted Pokemon that just kind of are objectively really good otherwise. For example, Clamperl, with Deep Sea Tooth, this thing kind of hits harder than, well, not kind of, it does hit harder than most restricteds anyway. And it's one of the best special wall breakers, so it's in here. Cottony with Tailwind, because it does have Tailwind now, as well as like literally all the other Whimsicott support, is probably unironically better than most Pokemon. I would personally rate it like just below Murkrow. I do think Murkrow is the objective best Tailwind setter, just because of the typing being a lot better into the format. Also just the fact that Murkrow's stats are definitely a lot better than Cottony's, but Cottony is still like it has a kit that's so unparalleled among the non-restricteds that it is up here as well. We do have a lot of cool picks. Essentially, if it is a Pokemon that you think should be up here, it is here, with the exception of Cottony and Clamperl, I think, being the only two like weird picks. For other Pokemon, I guess, that are typically banned in Little Cup that are just non-restricted, things like Meditite, for example. Pure Power Meditite, while it is a decent Pokemon, and it does have some merit, it's really slow, so it's not really like the most noteworthy threat, though it's a decent Pokemon. And it's here that's littered with good fighting types, though. Things like Mienfoo, Cubfoo, etc. are all typically better options. Oh, that reminds me, Cubfoo and Poipole are also not restricted Pokemon. They're just fully allowed. And then the only two bans in this tier right now are Duraludon and... I'm trying to remember the other one, Type Null. Only Duraludon and Type Null. Though I have talked to the staff about, once the format settles a bit, potentially looking to test these mods in. So maybe in the future they'll be allowed. I personally think, especially in a non-Terra form, that Duraludon's pretty manageable, especially considering we have a lot better options for fighting types right now. But regardless, these are all our restricted picks. They do also have a tier list that I will actually put up on screen as well of the viability rankings for all of the restricted Pokemon in the staff's opinion. Now again, keep in mind, these rankings are obviously done by people who have been playing a lot more games than most people probably have for this format as of right now. It's all the mods who've been testing the format pretty well, you know, getting like a good, I think they have like a good 20 samples ready already. So this would be their opinions on that tier list. Obviously with Sneasel and Hisui, Hisui, Sneasel, and Murkrow, these are the S tier Pokemon. Both of these are pretty obnoxious, I would say. Murkrow is the objective best Speak Control Pokemon in the tier, in my opinion. And then with Sneasel, meanwhile, for the Hisui form, Poison Fighting is really good, and as far as the fact that this just is immune to Intimidate without even needing Clear Amulet, you have one of the best dual stabs, especially being a good fighting type. That's like one of the best offensive typings you could have in this tier. It still has good fake out, so you're not giving up that role on like something such as Cubfoo, for example, which can't fake out, compared to Pokemon like Mienfoo that are typically really good fighting fake out options, or even Meditite, again, pretty decent one. Sneasel starts off our A tier though with the regular Sneasel. Dark Ice is really good offensively, just the fact there's so many good fighting types and there's so much good speed control. Sneasel does struggle a little bit there. We also have Mischievous, which is a decent Trick Room setter. This is probably one of the better ones. It's also just a good bulky ghost type. We have Stantler, which is also a really good option as far as a Trick Room setter. It's also a good Intimidate mon. It's just a really good bulky piece overall, though being weak to fighting kind of sucks. It's where Mischievous is like pretty good. Gligar having Hyper Cutter, again, really good Intimidate immunity right here, and it essentially functions as kind of like a offensive Lando T-roll, like those Dual Dance Landos or like a Sword Dance Lando set. There's a lot you can do with Gligar, though. I feel like I haven't personally seen a lot of it in this format in particular, but I know that there's a lot of potential for Gligar there. And then again, Cottony having Prankster Tail, and sorry, I don't know what it is. I feel like I have like a hair just stuck on my mouth from like just my hair. But the Cottony, though, again, just really good utility, and overall just a really good support Pokemon. It's a lot better in a format like this, where Cottony is essentially just more to be disruption, whereas Murkrow is more just be literally an enabler. For our B tiers, Basculin starts off here. Basculin does kind of, unfortunately, get hindered a bit, because without Terra, you can't really just lean into that Terra Water Stab that would have been really good in like a Paldea format. Also, there's just a lot better bulky options that can take on Basculin, also just a lot better wall breakers now. And considering the fact that Basculin would be restricted to just a single spot, it's a lot worse than it would be in like the format that we were describing in the video. It's still a really good option though. I still believe in Safety Goggles sets to be probably the best set, though I know a lot of people have been testing Rain with Choice Band, and that's also really good. Just especially when you don't get an option like Scyther to partner with it, and you can't just fire away at that Fungus as easily, it's definitely still really good. Cosmog could be a high A tier, actually. You know, having Splash is really good in the current format, and pure Psychic typing isn't bad defensively by any means. As you can see here on the tier list, obviously that pure Psychic typing is great against Hisui Sneasel. However, it's not great into the Sneasel and Murkrow, so I'd give it like a high, like mid A tier, I would say. The fact that it's a legendary Pokemon, of course, you know, its BSC is really good. As far as the rest of our B tier though, we do have Scyther again, really good Clear Amulet Mon. I think it's just a worse version of Gligar, despite the fact that it is a lot faster. Its dual stab is definitely worse, especially without Terra. Though Technician Bug Bite is still really powerful. If you throw Clear Amulet on, it can still hit really hard. Tangela. Tangela's a really good support Pokemon actually. It's one of the few Rage Powder users, and it has defenses that are pretty comparable to like most really high walls in just a standard form, like a non-VGC format, well, a non-LC format. So it's a lot better defensively, like Fizz Def wise, than Fungus would be, but you're trading that for like a pure grass typing, which can have some advantages, but obviously not being a fighting resistance hurt a bit. There's some decent merit in this, but mainly the big thing that you're losing is Spore. No Spore does kind of suck, but otherwise it's a really good pick. Siri Quillfish is good. It's a decent Intimidate Mon, really good typing. That's really about it. I'm personally not too fond of the Pokemon, but it's not bad. For C tiers, we have Clamperl, Porygon, and Yanma. Really just decent offensive mons. In Porygon's case, it's also a really good Trick Room setter, but it's just worse than Stantler and Mischievous for sure. Yanma is mostly here at all, even as restricted, because it was Speed Boost plus Hypnosis that really did it in. And that did have some decent case, but it's more like hacks prone. I would personally put Yanma in D tier. I think it's actually worse than Girafarig. Girafarig gets the D tier though. Essentially, it's kind of, I don't know, Girafarig's kind of clunky. I think that, for example, Stantler's definitely a better pick, just providing that Intimidate role. Girafarig can still do some stuff, but I'm not fond of them on personally. I don't think it has as wide of a kit as Stantler does, or as useful of a typing as like Mischievous does. And even among Porygon, I think its ability is just a lot more offensively potent, to where it can be a little bit less passive off rip. And you may as well choose Porygon, especially with the slower speed. For a Trick Room Mon, 85 speed is not the best. But regardless though, we do have some other roles to go over though. Obviously, we have good Intimidate Mons. As far as the ones that I would say to probably pick from this list, obviously we have the two restricteds. But I think the main takeaways here are Litten's still pretty good, but Litten is nowhere near as good as Incineroar is. That should be kind of obvious. But I wouldn't even put Litten in like the S tier personally. I feel like it's a good pick. It's definitely more viable without Terra, but it is definitely a kind of difficult mon to really properly utilize. We also have Hisui Growlithe and Growlithe. I think these are both probably decent offensive Intimidate mons. And then I would probably also consider like Scraggy, and other than those, maybe Granbull. Not Granbull, Snubbull. Snubbull I think on certain teams can maybe work. I wouldn't really look into a Pokemon like Shinx though, or like Ekans. I guess Ekans is Glare, but like you're not really gonna use Ekans, like if we're gonna be honest here. We have the Redirectors. Obviously we have the Follow Me Pokemon, which is literally just all the babies, and then we have Sentret. We have a couple others though. Squirtle gets Follow Me back in this format, which is actually a pretty big deal. I think Squirtle's a really decent water type right now. It's provided some decent success. There is a water type I'm a bit more partial to, but it's still not a bad pick. I think it's overall a really good option, and you're definitely running it more defensively oriented than a lot of the other ones like Elekid and Magby, or even like Pichu, which is more so a fast option with Fake Out and Follow Me. I think all the Follow Me Pokemon are viable to a degree. I would say the only one that I would not consider is Sentret. But Sentret does have like some really specific utility, to say the least. Like Super Fang plus Follow Me is actually decent, but it's objectively way worse than the rest of this tier. I would say though that all these Pokemon in theory could have a use case, in my opinion, though it would probably go like, I think our best Follow Me users are looking like probably Riolu and Squirtle, I would say, are the best two off rip. Like Elekid, Magby, Togepi, and Pichu would probably be like right after that, and Sentret's just at the bottom. Squirtle though is probably the best of these. For Rage Powder Pokemon though, we do have some decent options actually. I'm not sure why they don't have Tangela here, but it might just be an oversight, because I've literally played against Tangela with Rage Powder. But Capsakid is okay, not really. Hoppip is okay, not really. Scatterbug's only Friend Guard. Spinarak sucks. Toedscool's okay, but I wouldn't really use it. As far as our okay ones though, they have like some niche. Venomet's kind of cool, but it's really just Sleep Powder plus Follow Me. It has like a specific kit, and the typing is okay. Also Compound Eyes is really good for that. That's about it. Poltergeist is okay with Hospitality, but the big ones that I would personally recommend, Paris I think has some actual merit with Dry Skin. With Rage Powder plus Dry Skin, you could actually make this into a really good wall for Basculin. That's about all I can give it. Fungus though is far and away the best one still of these Rage Powder picks, at least the ones that are on here. So I wouldn't really look into anything else that's not Fungus, or again, Tangela is a decent one. As far as redirection abilities, these are all Pokemon that have like natural redirection. Honestly, if you're not like Cubone, Pichu, or like, I'd probably consider maybe Finneon just because of Storm Drain plus Tailwind. Actually, yeah, this does get Tailwind, yeah. I'd say those are probably the only three, maybe Shellos. I wouldn't really use like any of the Magic Bounce users or like Goldeen. You're not really looking at these Pokemon. Same as Blitzel. For viable Fake Out Mons, we have a lot of Fake Out. Personally, I would say any Pokemon in this section has, to a degree, some level of usability, in my opinion. I don't actually think any of these Pokemon are bad. Some standouts in this category, obviously, would be like Apom. It's a really good fast Fake Out option, and with Skill Link, you can go for like Tail Slap, which is pretty decent. Meditite, I've already talked about. Scraggy is decent with Fake Out Intimidate. Same as Litten. We have Impidimp, which is kind of cool. It's really the only good screen setter, I would argue, in the tier. We have Chimchar is kind of cool. It's like a more like mixed offensive version of Litten, I would argue. Well, not argue, I would say. And it's decent-ish speed-wise. Really cool utility. It's just kind of a nice like utility Swiss Army knife, but it's just really not great at anything. Yeah, I would argue Chimchar even still is like one of the... Actually, no. Esper is probably the only option here that I would not consider using. Esper is kind of bad. Some cool picks, though, that Natex adds. Mime Jr. Mime Jr. is actually a really interesting pick. I've been theory crafting this with a couple other people in the LC VGC server. Mime Jr. kind of hits hard. This thing is decent offensively. It has a like special attack being 70 for a non-restricted Pokemon. It's actually kind of a big deal. And with an offensive typing of Fairy and Psychic, that gets a lot of advantages in this format. As far as good utility gets, it gets things like Healing Wish, Taunt is really decent, Icy Wind, Ally Switch, like you get a lot with this Pokemon, actually. I think it has some decent merit. I personally actually value Mime Jr. pretty highly, I think, after talking with a lot of the other people. I think it's a decent pick. But yeah, pretty much, honestly, anything in this tier, besides, like, I guess Tyrogue and Esper are really the only two Pokemon that I would just say don't use. For weather, we don't have a lot. But we do have at least one setter for every weather that's not rain on the ability set. We have 3 different snow users because it's not dex, so we also get a Mora back. I'd say all 3 of the snow users have like some usability. I think Vulpix is probably the best weather setter in the tier though, because it has actual reason to be ran. There's some okay chlorophyll mons. Wouldn't really use any of these though, if I'm gonna be honest. Maybe a little in Vulpix, that's about it. As far as prankster weather goes, though, I would say that all of these have some level of merit. Like Strudel can be okay. I think the biggest thing, though, is that Strudel has some really specific utility, like Pardon Shot, I think kind of cool, and also Super Fang. Cottony and Murkrow are definitely the best. Berlin has a lot of just cool gimmicky stuff, and then same as Riolu, again, a lot of cool gimmicky prankster stuff, that's about it. And then speed boosting for weather, again, we have a lot of Sun Abuse right here. I would say as far as the best things here, because this isn't a fire type Capsicum, it sucks. It's just Rage Powder plus Chlorophyll, that's about it. Bulbasaur's pretty good though. Bellsprout's also not bad. I think these two are decent-ish. Cotty in theory could be good, but I wouldn't really look into it for Chlorophyll. That's really about it for Sun. Rain, I would actually argue that all the Swiftswim Pokemon in this here, I'm just confirming, double check, yeah, all the Swiftswim Pokemon besides maybe Sweet Quillfish would be worse than just throwing on a Basculin. For Snow, both of these have some merit, though. It's definitely Sandshrew, in my opinion. And for Sand, it's definitely Trilbur. Howdy, Popic, how are you doing today? And that's pretty much it, literally, for all the roll stuff. And then I wanna get a little bit of work on the tier list done before we decide to go with some battles. So we're gonna start off with the Bulbasaur. Now, I did mention that Bulbasaur is one of the few decent weather options. I'm also gonna add in an S+. I do think that we need an S+ with how many Pokemon we're ranking today. Also, by the way, I do want to mention, there is a chance the stream ends earlier than I would like to go for. I would personally like to make the stream until 3 o'clock. I don't know if I can personally do that though. Right now I am in a good amount of pain because of my wisdom tooth. So that's fun. And then, oh, you know, I'm also gonna make a useless here, but I'll call it something funny. I'll just put LOL because that sounds like something you would say if it's funny. But yeah, so my wisdom tooth's doing not great, so I might end stream early because of that. Just, I don't know how long I'll be able to talk for without it getting too bad. Right now it's like fine enough, but just giving a heads up, we might end the stream a bit earlier. But I'd like to go till 3. Other than that, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking, Baba Cat. Anyway though, so Bulbasaur, I would say, is probably like a decent-ish Chlorophyll mon. I would give it a C tier. I think it's like literally middle of the road. I don't think weather in general is the best in this format. I think you're much better off doing like, if you're gonna set weather, I think it's definitely more of a gimmick in this type of format. I think Bastion is literally like the best weather abuser. It's currently 12:25, so I want to go for at least another 2.5 hours. At least ideally. But again, it depends on the dude. So yeah, so Bulbasaur though, I'd say it's a decent C tier. I think Bulbasaur is like literally the epitome of an average Pokemon in this format. Fast Sleep Powder's not bad, especially because it's not as gimmicky on a Pokemon like this, because the typing's a lot better than Yanma. But like at the same time, I don't know, I feel like Bulbasaur's just kind of mid. Typing doesn't offer a lot to the other Pokemon. It's more just it's not gonna get shit on by common stabs, and that's about it. Would I rather have Urshifu user? I'd rather have Ogerpon. I feel like the Ogerpon user, like, listen, you just gotta have Ogerpon user. Charmander is a C tier as well. I think Solar Power Charmander is actually kind of cool. This gets into the point I was making with Bulbasaur though. You definitely would rather have just the damage dealers in my opinion. I don't think its typing was a lot worse. I think Charmander also just is objectively a worse Pokemon than Bulbasaur. But I think in this particular format, Charmander can do a bit more. Squirtle I think is an A tier actually. I think Squirtle with Follow Me and Fake Out back is like actually really good for this format, and the stats are a lot more comparable to like actual viable Pokemon now, because it's not with Blastoise versus like base 600 Pokemon. It's just Squirtle, which actually is an okay toolkit. And also I feel like Shell Smash sets aren't terrible on this either, especially next to a redirect like Fungus, though again it's more the Fake Out support sets that are doing really good right now. We have Caterpie, F tier. This LOL tier is literally only for Pokemon that have like actually no use. Caterpie at least has a stab, same as Weedle. Pidgey sucks. Rattata, Guts is kind of cool. We'll give these E tier. They don't get a lot of say though. It's just Guts priority is kind of okay. Spearow sucks. Ekans has Intimidate and Glare. That's okay. Sandshrew, just a worse Sandmon. Alolan Sandshrew though, I would say this is a C tier. Again, it's a faster way to set Veil technically if you have Snow up already, than Alolan Vulpix, just because of the fact that you have Slush Rush. It's about all I can give it, though it's still really, like, this Pokemon is not the best. It just, technically, it's an okay Snow abuser. The Nidorans are okay, I guess. With Hustle, they're not the best, though. Vulpix, I think Vulpix is, like, a B tier. I think both of them are, actually. These are, as far as Weather Ability Sunsetters go, Weather Ability Pokemon in general, I think these are probably the two best. I'd really just steer towards more Prankster, or even just steer away from Weather entirely in this type of format, at least right now. Though I have seen some Snow teams popping up, even though I think Sun is the better choice. I've seen some Snow with like Alolan Vulpix plus Sandshrew when skimming replays, when I was deciding on what to throw on my thumbnail for this video, or for this stream I should say. But the Vulpixes aren't bad. Zubat though is bad. Zubat sucks. We have Oddish. Let me see if Oddish actually gets anything that's redeeming. I don't think it does, but let me double check that really quickly before I confirm. Let me see. Oh, right. I need to set it to just, Nadex. There we go. Does this thing get anything? Not really. Yeah, this one's not good. This one's really not good. Oh, actually, 75 special attack's not terrible. It's a lot more offensive, at least. We can give Oddish an E tier, at least. I'll compromise at that. Paris is decent. I'd give Paris a B tier. This is a cool redirector. I think it's one of the better Rage Powder ones, personally. It's Rage Powder Spore, so again, just like with Fungus, you do get some like actual viable stuff out of this, but another area that you can get some merit is Wide Guard. It's a decent Wide Guard Pokemon, and having an immunity is also really good, though again, it's just strictly typing-wise way worse than Fungus. Venonat's okay. I'd give Venonat a first D tier of the stream, actually. It's a cool Rage Powder mon, I just think it's a lot worse than Fungus as far as bug types go. Don't use Diglett. Meowth is kind of cool. I actually think this is a decent tech fake out one. Alolan Meowth though gets like an E tier. I think there's better target fake out, and unlike with Meowth, you're not getting the stab off of it, which was really the biggest reason why Meowth has actual merit. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Meowth has some actual place in the meta. For example, if we were to pull up Meowth's stats, it's base 90 speed, which is already like that's really fast for this format. 45 attack isn't the best, but again, with Technician, you can get some mileage out of that. For example, some moves that you get. Again, I've already mentioned fake out, but for some other things that can benefit. You get Air Lace. Covet is kind of decent actually, because it turns into like a base 90 move, though you'd probably just rather run Return at that point. Again, it's really mostly for like fake out, though you can make a lot of stuff like Icy Wind with tech kind of work, or Snarl with Technician kind of work. So there's some options. I think Meowth actually has a place-ish. Galar Meowth, I would give a C tier just because it's a steel type and we don't have a lot of good steals. It could be decent, but I don't know. I feel like it's just a strictly worse Meowth. Psyduck, Cloud9, I'll give it E tier, even though weather's not the best. Mankey with Defiant, I'm gonna give this thing a C tier. I think this is a kind of cool fighting type offensively. I'm kind of curious if you haven't seen more Mankey, because I think it's actually one of the better fighting types, at least among the non-restricted pool. Obviously, Manfu is strictly better. I think Kubfu is as well, and even Metatite. But I'd probably put Mankey like right after that, personally. Defiant is pretty decent, and there's still some good Intimidate, despite the fact that like the best Pokemon in the tier are immune to it. Growlithe. Growlithe is a decent Intimidate Mon. I'm gonna give this D tier. I think that his Sui Growlithe though is just a strictly better option in the format. I'm actually gonna give this an A tier. This is probably one of the best Intimidate Mons in the tier, in my opinion. Poliwag is okay. We'll give this thing a D tier. I think it's a kind of cool source of Mon. Abra gets a B tier. I think Abra has some decent options. It's a decent like Glass Cannon as a Psychic type. Base 90 speed is not bad, and 105 special attack. Like, this is a decent offensive non-restricted Pokemon. I think the issue being though is that Abra dies to like any fucking hit, so you're already like guaranteed protect on a set to get around Fake Out. And then at that point, most of your moves are single target besides Gleam. I think if this was a Terra format, maybe Abra could be an A tier, just because like Terra Fairy would be really good on this thing. But without that though, I think it's a B. Anyway, Machop is kind of cool with Guts, but it's just, I feel like it's just better options. Bellsprout, I've already mentioned, just like a worse Bulbasaur. Tentacool, I don't really know what you'd use Tentacool for, but it has like okay stats, and I know it gets like knockoff and shit. The Geodude's this objective order because it's just better Geodude. Ponyta, I feel like if this was like singles, Ponyta could be a cool option. I'm gonna give this thing like an E and a D tier respectively. Just because this typing, actually no, this is pure Psychic, not Psychic Fairy. Yeah, they're both E tier. They're both kind of okay. Slowpoke is actually kind of cool. I think it's a decent Trick Mon. We're gonna give this a C tier. I think Galar Slowpoke is just a little worse right now. Magnemite is, I think Magnemite could kind of do some work again. We don't have a lot of great steals, and this could also potentially be like a good Specs pivot, or even like, it probably wouldn't run Recycle Berry Juice, unfortunately. Though if this is level 5, this could be a decent pick. Farfetch'd Galar, with Scrappy and being an Intimidate immunity, this is a decent Mon. It's a really good offensive fighting type. I'm gonna give it a B tier. I forgot about this when I was mentioning through fighting types because it's not in Scarlet and Violet, but this is a cool option for sure. I kind of vibe with this Mon. We have Doduo. No, Doduo is not good. Seal, technically, actually, does Seal get the same like utility that Dugong gets? It does get Fake Out. It does get Icy Wind. Yeah, this thing can get an easier. It's still not good though. Grimer sucks, but a Alolan Grimer though is probably a D tier. Pretty cool dark type for sure. Dark Poison only having one weakness. And the issue being though is that I think that just cool if it's just strictly better, though it is restricted, so it's not terrible. Shelter could be kind of cool. Decent. Oh, oops! I opened up my F12. Decent Shell Smash Mon. I would give this thing probably like a D tier. Well, actually, we'll give it a C tier. I think it's at least like up there with these. You can definitely partner this with good redirection and make it work. Ghastly's kind of cool. I've been vibing with this Mon. I think it's similar to Abra though, but it's not pressured by Fake Out as much. So I think it's like, where Abra's probably the low end of this tier with like Meowth and Abra. I think this is like one of the best in the tier, but I'm not sorting it by order. Onyx, no, don't use Onyx. Drowsy, E tier. This thing gets, I think this thing gets like fucking, there's an ability that Drowsy gets. I'm forgetting what it is. Inner Focus, right? So it's Inner Focus Trick Room. That's really the merit there. Krabby, Sheer Force, Rock Slide. I fought a Krabby actually in testing. I think it's okay. But like just, it's kind of gimmicky. Voltorb sucks. His silly Voltorb though, I'd give it D tier. I think this Mon with decent typing, especially in a non-Terra format, like that's a good stab to have. And it's still one of the faster Pokemon in the tier, and you get Speed Control with it as well, thanks to Electroweb. So like this Mon can cook. I think Nisui Voltorb actually could kind of cook, but it's also just really frail. And it has like barely any moves, so we're gonna pass on that. You suck. Cubone's kind of cool. I actually think this is a decent ground type. I would actually go as far as to say Cubone's a B tier. Cubone's kind of scary. I think this is a decent Trick Room threat. It's also a decent Tailwind threat, I would argue. I mean, I fought a Tailwind one. I thought it was kind of cool, but I think it's definitely more suited for Trick Room with like Thick Club and just going with like Brave Nature, make it really bulky, and you can kind of massacre some stuff. Though you can, I think it's like 244 speed Jolly. You can creep the Sneasels and go for like Bone Meringue, which is kind of cool for Sash sets. So it's a nice instant Sash break against them, which is decent, assuming they're running Sash, that is. Lickitung is just stats, but like the stats aren't bad. I'll give it D tier. Coughing, Neutralizing Gas, that's objectively a decent thing. We'll get the C tier. Rhyhorn, no, I just think it's bad Cubone, but redirection's not terrible. Tangela, let me double check the Tangela gets Rage Powder. So I know I said that, but it's not on the sheet. It does get Rage Powder, yeah, okay. Yeah, so we're gonna obviously tier non-restricteds in as, like, compared to their restricted counterparts. So For example, if I think that a non-restricted's in the B tier, like if I think it's as good in this format because it's a restricted Pokemon as these Pokemon, then I'm putting it here. I see that very clear because we're finally touching on a restricted Pokemon. So with Tangela though, I am gonna put it in the A tier. I think Tangela is probably pretty comparable in viability to like a non-restricted Squirtle and a non-restricted Growlithe. I think it's a decent Pokemon. Tangela is definitely enough of an annoyance to kill, just because of the sheer bulk physically it has, but a lot of good special threats, just due to their stabs anyway, will pressure Tangela very easily, in my opinion. But it's kind of cool. I also remembered I said I would do battles after, I had take a break to ask for battles after the Growlithe. I'm just going to finish Kanto at this point. Horsey, no. Goldeen, E tier just because of immunity. Staryu, it's like decent stat-wise, but like we do have to remember this is a Staryu. And in a format where it's not like literal singles LC Smogon VGC, this isn't the best. Scyther's an easy S tier in my opinion. I do think that Scyther's not the objective best set of Pokemon, but Scyther's like definitely format defining for sure. That is a very terrifying dual stab to fight. And like, I would assume most teams would not enjoy fighting a Scyther, personally, especially with Tech Dual Wing Beat. Magikarp gets the LOL tier. Eevee, Eevee with adaptability is actually kind of cool. I think this one could do some decent work with like Quick Attack and like Eevee just going for like last resort. For other normal stabs you get, I mean, obviously for Frustration and Return are decent options. You get also like Yawn and Helping Hand for utility. Yeah, this thing is kind of cool. I'd give Eevee a C tier. Porygon, I think Porygon's decent. I would personally give Porygon an A tier. I know if we look at like the tiers from earlier, Porygon's ranked a lot. Well, it's ranked a good amount lower than Tangela. I personally think they're a lot more comparable. In my personal opinion, I would probably give Porygon, just due to the things like download Trick Room, and also just the fact that it is only weak to one typing. However, that typing is really good. I'd still give it an A tier. I will say though, compared to Tangela, I think that Tangela is the best mon in this tier so far. I think Porygon is the worst of the four for sure, as we do have a lot of better Trick Room, and I think its role is a lot more competed for than Tangela, which only has to compete with Fungus. And there are teams that would definitely run Tangela over Fungus anyway, despite the restricted spot. I think even among restricted Trick Room setters, though, this is definitely one of the weaker ones. Ammonite and Kabuto, you get a C tier. I think your stats are better suited. You get a D tier. Oh, you get an F tier. I know I said C tier. I meant E tier. Dratini, no. And that's it. Okay. So I'm going to take a real quick break. For anyone who might want to do some Little Cup VGC battles, I'm going to also ping in the server really quickly. Let's see. So matchmaking. So we will see really quickly. Pikachu's your favorite Pokemon. Well, Pikachu is unfortunately not a baby Pokemon, but we will get to Pichu soon. Let's see. Alright, so also I am going to take the moment, I know it's in the description as well, but I am going to pin the link. If you want to join the LC VGC server for battles and guides, click here. We're gonna pin that for sure. Perfect. Okay, the set is now pinned. For anyone who might join later and wants to check it out, it's a decent server. As I said, I've been helping out a lot with their teams and just their general setup. While we are waiting for an opponent, what I am gonna do though is I am going to continue doing the tier list, and when I hear back from someone, whether it's in chat or whether it's in the server, I'll end up taking the battle. I do have a pretty cool team. I'm gonna use my sample that I built just because I enjoy the sample. But I might change teams later on. Chikorita sucks. This is just worse Charmander, but like Flashfire is kind of cool, I guess. Totodile sucks. Censure E tier just because it followed me. Who sucks? We're going through a lot of shitters right now. You're still here? Perfect. Drop your showdown in chat. I got you. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, no. I said you can battle. I said you're good. But I just need to know your showdown. So that way then I can challenge you. Okay. Let me grab the match code as well. Okay. So yeah, just let me know your showdown though, because there's a format specifically set up. It's like a custom format code, so I just need to know what to challenge you with. I did also get a game in the server, so I'll probably play both. And then we'll continue more tier list stuff after we do that. Let me switch over a window to showdown though. We could probably make this. Oh, you don't do showdown? Oh, I don't have my team on Wi-Fi. So sorry about that. I'll probably do a Wi-Fi one later on, but like this was such a last second decision. I just don't have a team ready. Let's see. Is this the right browser? Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I can adjust later on for the crop. All right. Oh, perfect. I just got my challenge. Sweet. Okay, so yeah, we'll have to adjust the window, obviously. Oh, actually, it's not too bad. I thought it'd be way worse. Okay. So, looking at my opponent's team, this is open team sheet. So, it is a Life Orb Frillish. Ooh, okay. I like Frillish a lot, personally. I'm really huge at this mon. I like Scarf, because I think on Tailwind it's a bit slow, but we'll vibe. Let's see. Houndour. Oh, right. I forgot. I have Auto Timer on. Oops. Houndour is decent. Especially Wide Lens. That's kind of cool, actually. Silk Scarf, Apom. Makes sense. Yep, it's the Follow Me Aqua Jet Squirtle. That's been pretty common right now. Tailwind. Mono Dark Pulse. I will say, I'm assuming it's because of Intimidate. I don't know why it's not just run Foul Play. But I digress. Then we have Machop with Focus Sash No Guard. Okay, that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. Yeah, so this is our team. This is the team that I'll probably be using for most of the stream today when we do battles. We have a Wide Lens Sneasel with Triple Axle, Knockoff, Fake Out, and Protect. We have a Gilewings Fletchling, Brave Bird, Tailwind, Quick Attack, and Taunt. We have a Miracle Seed Grookey that's literally just standard Rillaboom. We have a Follow Me Magby. I do like the Follow Me Magby a lot on here, though it did used to be a Sweet Growlithe with Flamethrower, Heat Wave, Protect, and Follow Me Flame Plate. We have a Scarf Frillish, because I personally, again, I prefer Scarf Frillish more than non-Scarf. And then we have a Fake Out, U-Turn, Close Combat, and Knockoff Mienfoo. If you want this sample, it is in the Discord that is in the pin. This sample was actually the one that I personally contributed to the team, though they did way more than I did. They made like 20 samples before I even joined. So it'd be unfair to say that I did like a lot of the work on those, but I did do this one, and I am proud of it. We're gonna lead off with Fletchling and let's see. I feel confident in going for like Fletchling Frillish, and then we're gonna go for because they'll definitely outpace me with Apom, so I can't just go for Fake Out into that. Actually, I can with Sneasel. So we'll go with these, and I'll go with Frillish in the back line, and I think I'm gonna go with. I don't really like Magby here. I feel like Magby just kind of gets dunked on. I'm gonna go with Grookey. Good luck and fun to my opponent though. We're gonna see Apom and Murkrow on lead. Okay, so I can just fake out the Apom and then just go for my Tailwind before any sort of pressure goes off. Because my team does kind of fold without Tailwind up. It is unfortunately going to get screwed without Tailwind up. But if I do fake out their Apom, even if they go for a Protect here, I'm not really too concerned. Because I can then just go for Triple Axle on that on the following turn, and I'm kind of okay. Try to get a sample for every mon. Never enough samples though. Yeah, no, of course. By the way, this is also one of the other staff members at SX City. Shout outs to them. They do an incredible job. Again, one of the many wonderful people behind this format. So thank you very much for the work that you do. We're gonna go for a Triple Axle and a Murkrow, and I'm just gonna Brave Bird the Apom. I think we're gonna definitely kill the Murkrow for sure. I'm confident we can also kill Apom. Especially with the priority Brave Bird, that nothing can really outpace right now, actually, because beside Protect on Murkrow, we're the fastest one on the field. Perfect. Okay, so Apom dies. That is beautiful. Okay, so we've already killed one of the best offensive pieces they have. It didn't really matter a ton for Frillish, to be fair, but it's still a decent mon to remove. I am gonna go for the Triple Axle here, and then I think I'm just gonna go for a Brave Bird and a Machop. I know it does have does a Focus Sash, and it probably will go for Rock Slide here and kill both my mons. But just weakening this thing down to Sash will be decent for my Scarf Frillish, so I'm okay with that. Especially because they don't really have another good check to that in the back. Oh, they're gonna just Dynamic Punch. Oh no, my opponent. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I didn't even notice they were Insomnia. Oh no, no, that's terrible. Oops. We're gonna go under Frillish anyway. Oops. Okay, sweet. Yeah. So their Water Absorb. Oh, you know what? I should make mine Water Absorb, actually. I forgot about that. Okay, well, now I actually have to go for Shadow Ball, but that's fine. I can Quick Attack this back, and I'm kind of okay. Minimum, my Scarf Shadow Ball should always hit before theirs. So even if they go for like a Water Spout trying to claim both my mons, they'll just do significantly less damage. Though, I don't know. Maybe I'm not going to change to Curse Body. I do like Curse Body a lot. No, it's way less consistent, and honestly, getting the recovery back is objectively better. I don't know why I thought Curse Body would be the call. But I'll take it. I'll take it either way. Yeah, I can't see a way that my opponent wins this because my backline's Grookey. But it's still nonetheless pretty good team. Just not having Prankish on Murko definitely hurts a bit. Perfect. Machop's dead. Shadow Ball's gonna go off. That nearly kills. But Grassy Glide will definitely kill back, so I'm not too concerned here. Also, I think that my Fletchling just outpaces actually. Kind of want to fake out my own Fletchling. I'm not gonna BM. I'm not gonna BM. Impulse to do it though is really high, but I'm not gonna BM like that. And then we'll Woodhammer. Okay, you know what? No, I'm gonna fake out my Fletchling. And then, yeah, we'll Brave Bird. I want the Fletchling kill. GG, well played. I want that in the replay. That's all. That's all it is. I think his song is just really quiet, so let me turn it up. Yeah, I forgot the lo-fi ones are really low. Okay, perfect. Perfect, okay. So, we've gotten in our first game. We're currently 1-0. And this is for the, yeah, sure. I do want to grab another team, though, if I'm going to do this. If I'm going to take rematches. Let me look at some samples. What's a mon that I've wanted to try? You know what? Let me try this Cottony team, actually. This Cottony team looks kind of fun. I remember looking at this the other day, and I was thinking that Cottony seemed just really fun and silly. I'm going to try this. This is going to be beat up Cottony with, like, Justified Growlithe. It should be pretty cool, actually. I like this one a lot. And then we have a nice little Cusset Magnemite that can get off of the last-ditch Electro Web if need be. Power Herb, Meteor Beam, Glimmet. It's kind of cool, especially with Toxic Debris. Mantike. Mantike is some decent support, too. I'm kind of fond of Mantike. We'll get into that when we get into the Sinnoh portion of the tier list. But this thing has some really cool support. Actually, funny story. Oh, right. You can't see the Mantike. Let me go back to, not to Twitter. We'll show it in a moment. Show all teams. But as far as Mantike goes, though, the funny story was, I actually, in 2016, right after Worlds, I was thinking about what to bring to my local to try and beat Dual Primal. And my friends and I theory crafted that Mantike was unironically the call. Because you throw on a Violet at the Mon, it's like 3-8 killed by Groudon. Neither Groudon or Kyogre ran any Electric Stab. And with, specifically, it was like Wide Guard, Icy Wind, Tailwind, and Protect was the set. You actually could get a lot of mileage. It was objectively one of those things you throw on after Worlds when, like, it's an off-season format. But it kind of did some work, and I threw it on with, like, Mega Sceptile, Infernape, Dual Primal, and some other Pokemon that I'm forgetting. And it got, I think we got to, like, 1300 on ladder with it or some shit. It was really silly. Let me stop timer again. Yeah, let's see. So, we're fighting Snow. Snow is decent. I fuck with Snow. That's, let's see, it's a Tailwind on Tailo. Which team did you make? Let's see, let me see, was it this one? Oh, it is this one. Oh, nice, I'm using one of your teams. Yeah, no, honestly, this team is super silly. I like this team a lot. We're gonna lead off with Growlithe Cottony. I think Growlithe Cottony should be a decent lead. I can realistically just, at minimum, go for Dual Protect if I need to, into that Sneasel, which is decent, because that Dual Stab does a good bit here. Actually, I could just go with Manfu too, but I don't really know if I like having Manfu on lead. I do like it in the back for sure. I don't know if I really need Mantike, though. It is a decent option for, like, all the... Yeah, actually, no, I'm gonna go with Mantike. Magnemite, I'm not as huge on, because the fact that Sneasel will still do a lot anyway with Fake Out plus Knockoff. Growlithe obviously will be a huge menace. They have some decent routes for this. Definitely bring Glimmet. I feel more confident in Mantike here, personally. I think the Wide Guard should be decent. They're gonna go with Tail Growlithe. Okay, that's fine. So they have no immediate priority. What I could do here, I'm gonna go for a Tailwind here, because I need to make sure that I am outpacing everything. And then I'm gonna go for a... I think I'm gonna go for a close combat here. I'm pretty confident I could just kill Growlithe. I would be genuinely shocked if I can't just kill Growlithe. Oh, right, I forgot this song is pretty loud. Let me turn that down. Okay. So yeah, I'm pretty confident I can just kill Growlithe close combat here. Perfect, okay. And then I can just go for beat up on the next turn. If Taylor's gonna go for Tailwind, that's fine. Tailor will be kind of a problem, but it won't be like the biggest deal in the world. Frankly, I'm more concerned with this Frillish, actually. This Frillish, I think, will actually be an issue, but what I could do, I can go for a Protect this turn. Actually, I'll go for a Giga Drain this turn, and I'll go for Protect on the Growlithe. Because what I want to do, I want to go for... Oh, they're going to go for Wing Attack. Okay, that's kind of nice. Also, we know that the Frillish is slower than Tailo. That does mean that's a modest Frillish, most likely. Either that or it's timid and just really low infested. Okay. This is fine. We're gonna go for Wide Guard though. That shuts down the Frillish entirely, and I can actually just devote to killing a Tailo this turn, which is decent. So I'm gonna go for a Flare Blitz into that. I don't really need to reset Tailwind because I have Mantike, and killing their Tailwind means I can set it up later with Mantike and be kind of fine. Their Frillish is forced out here though, because Wide Guard I can click in succession. Amora is gonna come in, that's fine. They're gonna go for a Facade that will kill my Growlithe. Okay. Not bad, not bad. Let's see. I might actually lose. I'm trying to think of how I win this. I do need to go for Pump for sure into the Amora, I think. Because that Amora is kind of terrifying. That Amora is actually really terrifying. And I think I'm going to go for a Fake Out here into the Tailo. Just before it gets off any shenanigan into my Mantike. Oh, they outpace. Okay. Oh, yeah, that Amora is going to cook. Okay, yeah, that's definitely game. I can't beat the Tailo. Alright, solid. Oh shit, I took the hit from the tail. I'm kind of shocked I took that wing attack. I still think this Amora was definitely gonna like slaughter my team, because even if I went for that that fighting move immediately, Amora still just clicked Meteor Beam into Hyper Voice anyway and killed. And Frillish also just outpaced, so actually yeah, it was always game over with Frillish. Not bad, not bad. Okay, so we're 1-1 for right now. I will take that. I think what I'll probably do is I'll probably take a little bit of a break from battling really quickly and just do a little bit more tier list. And then after we do Johto, I will probably look for another battle. Well, after we finish Johto, I might do a little bit of Hoenn as well. But we'll see. Chinchou though. Chinchou's decent with dual immunity. I think at minimum Chinchou's enough of a kit to kind of work. We'll give it like an E tier. It's definitely not worse than like Sentret. Pichu is cool. I think it's actually a decent takeout Mon with redirection. If you're looking for like a lightning round Mon, I think Pichu's one of the better ones personally. If we pull up Pichu's toolkit, actually, this thing gets some pretty decent stuff. It's just Pichu's stats are so awful that it can't really be higher. But like it's base 60 speed, which isn't the best. Well, you consider it has things like a Nuzzle and Electro Web for some decent speed control. You get things like obviously Encore and Fake Out are decent. You have Follow Me, which is a big deal. Like this thing has some. Oh wait, where's Follow Me? Oh right, this isn't set to Nat Dex. Okay, I was gonna say I know you get Follow Me. Yeah, so this thing gets some decent support. I think personally, also even still, just despite Pichu's terrible offensive stats of 40 and 35, you still get Seismic Toss for damage, which is kind of cool. I would personally give this thing at least a C tier. Actually, no, I say at least, but this is definitely no higher than a C tier. Cleffa sucks. This Mon doesn't get any of the good support that Clefairy does. For example, no Follow Me. You also don't get, you do get Ice Wind actually, but you don't get Knockoff, you don't get Heal, and you do get Heal Pulse. You don't get most of the support. Cynical's Eruption, does Charmander not get Eruption? Oh, you know what, shit, Charmander does not get Eruption. Actually, you might be onto something. I forgot Charmander does not get Eruption. Actually, that's a big deal for Quillfish. I can respect Quillfish's game and give it a C tier. Because that would definitely be the reason you would run it over Charmander's Eruption, though Solar Power is decent as well. Yeah, because this actually probably would be one of the better Eruption ones. What are other Eruption users, actually? Oh, it's literally just this. Oh, that's actually a decent niche, I can't lie. Yeah, we'll give Quillfish C tier. I think C tier is fine. Quillfish still, I think, is objectively probably a little bit worse than Charmander, just because Charmander still does benefit from the sun. Charmander's move pool is a lot better. For example, if we were to look up Charmander's special attacks, we get things like Dragon Pulse, which is decent for any sort of bulkier dragons. There aren't a lot of them. Ancient Power is still really good though, especially for the fire type mirror. You have Weather Ball, which is decent. You still have Heat Wave for good spread. Like I feel like Charmander still gets a lot more, but being the only Eruption Mon, and especially with the fire type immunity, I think that's a decent enough niche to at least give it the same tier as Charmander. I don't think the highest of either of these two. I mean, honestly, if you're looking at fire types, like this is the fire type right here. But I think they're both respectable enough. Igglybuff, sucks. Togepi, I think Togepi's decent. Again, it's another like kind of niche Follow Me Mon. But Pure Fairy is nothing to scoff at. Like Pure Fairy is a typing. It's just an objectively good type, especially in a format littered with fighting types. Natu, I can't give this thing any higher than like D. A Magic Bounce for like Spore Immunity plus like Tailwind is okay. That's all I can give it. Mary sucks. Hoppip gets an E tier just for Rage Powder. Actually, he gets a Rage Powder plus Chlorophyll is okay with like Sleep Powder stuff. That's about it. Apom is cool. I can give Apom like a solid. I can give it a C tier. I do think the Tandem Mouse is a bit better though, because Tandem Mouse would have for Friend Guard. Even still, like honestly, if we're really digging into Igglybuff, like this thing does get Friend Guard, yeah, but like if we're looking at the things this can actually do for a team, it's like Perish Song, Encore. Just it doesn't even get Disable. It gets Encore though. Its speed is also like 15. Actually, this could maybe be okay on Trick Room. I'm willing to give Igglybuff an E tier, but I think that Igglybuff might actually be better, despite the fact that Cleffa has a better typing, because at minimum this has like actual utility. Actually, hold on, just deciding factor between E and F tier, it does get Heal Pulse. Yeah, I'd be willing to give Igglybuff an E tier. But Togepi though at least is a Follow Me bot. I think Follow Me is definitely gonna be a bit better of a slot though for sure. Poor Natu. Becca, we're not doing this again. Becca, this is not going to be our Dawn fan this stream. We're not doing this again. Absolutely not. We're not doing this again. We're just not. No, I think Igglybuff definitely is. I still think a Clef is just an objectively worse Igglybuff though, considering the utility it gets is just Igglybuffs but worse. Also, I think this is just a better Trick Room Friend Guard Pokemon anyway as well. Sunkern, Sunflora bias here. Does this thing get solar power? Yes, it does. Does it get the coverage that Sunflora gets? I guess Weather Ball. Weather Ball is actually kind of decent. It does not get Earth Power though. I think it's a pretty big deal against it though, especially in a no terror. Oh, it does get Earth Power. I mean, honestly, this one is still kind of fast for Trick Room, especially in a Little Cup format. I'm willing to give this an E tier. I'm willing to give Sunkern an E tier. As someone who has done work in Paldea Little Cup VGC with Sunkern, though I think if it was Paldea, I don't know, I could give it D tier. But I think with E tier, it's at least probably better than like I would probably value it more than like Rhyhorn, which is just here for immunity, or like Staryu, which is just coverage bot with okay stats, but like it's not really practical to the format. This at least could have like some okay Trick Room Sun niche, but I wouldn't say it's like anything too great. 70-70, yeah, so the big thing I have against Natu though is the typing. Like if we're looking at Psychic Flying, Natu's typing isn't really great outside of for like a couple key mons that Grookey is really good for example, which can't really touch it that well outside of Knockoff. And it has some decent things like pivoting with Tailwind is not bad. I would say that the greater issue with Natu is just the fact that again you're in a format where if we were to look at a lot of like even just restricted Pokemon, right? It hates the Murkrow matchup. It doesn't hate the Murkrow matchup, but it's not gonna appreciate being fought against Murkrow. The Sneasel obviously massacres it. Sneasel completely invalidates its existence. Mischievous can do a decent amount to it, and Natu can't do a lot back. Quillfish is a decent wall to it. Scyther could probably still rip it apart with Dueling Beat, to be honest. Like it's not gonna hold a candle to most of these, and on top of that as well, I think it struggles with a lot of other good Pokemon here. Like for example, again, Apom can definitely shatter it wherever Apom is. Right over here, yeah. We also have like the Growlithe is just a decent Rock Slide Flinch Bond that Natu unfortunately can't really touch that well. I think it's a D tier. I think Natu is objectively like a usable Pokemon. Like D tiers I would start to say are usable outside of just like being strictly gimmick ridden. Like Magic Bounce is kind of cool. I think we have better Tailwind though. I think we have definitely better Tailwind, especially with Cottony back. Yanma. Ooh, Yanma. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not huge on Yanma. Yanma does have some things that are kind of cool. No Tinted Lens is kind of annoying though, because I feel like this could have been like a really decent Tinted Lens mon. Speed Boost plus Hypnosis is not too bad though. I know the other staff were hyping this mon up. I'm gonna be honest though, I think Yanma's a D tier. I think Yanma, even compared, like I would rather use a mon like Compoundized Venonat for Sleep Powder than like or I guess this does get Compoundized too actually. Ooh, you know what? This actually could probably go to C tier. I know it's typically used for Speed Boost bot. That's a tongue twister right there. But like, I could get behind Compoundized Yanma. And it is still faster anyway than a lot of the format. Yeah, I could actually get behind a C tier for this. This isn't too terrible. Definitely wouldn't give it higher than a C tier though. That mon's still kind of trash. The Whoopers, I mean, we don't have anything that really needs Unaware in this format. Murkrow's an S+. Murkrow's an S+. Murkrow is one of the best mons in the format. I would personally argue Murkrow's like top 5. This thing is kind of insane. This mon... Ooh, I do have to ask, though. Okay, I'm with unrestricted Yanma, actually. I brought that up. I brought up 3 different Pokemon I figured could maybe be evaluated. Was one Yanma. I can kind of agree with the Hypnosis point, but I still do not think it's that great. The other 2 were the 2 retests for Duraludon and Type Null. I don't know if you saw those. But I think that once the format settles a bit, not right now, but I think like once we get a good solidified format, those are potential test-ins. I think that a lot of top mods, especially for Duraludon, can pressure it pretty well. To be fair, we have not gotten to any of those top mons, but I do think we have some. Type Null might be a bit more of a problem Pokemon, despite the fact that it is weak to fighting, which a lot of fighting types are really good right now. At the same time, though, it is obnoxiously bulky and has a lot of versatility to it. I think Duraludon could also maybe be a bit much, but I think that, again, they're both testable. Murkrow is kind of sick. This mon has a lot of good support. I think realistically, again, like best set right now is like Tailwind, Thunderwave, just fillers. You can go with stuff like Quash, Haze, Foul Play, Brave Bird, Dark Pulse. I've seen Dark Pulse. Again, I'm not sure why people go with Dark Pulse. That might be a question for our resident mod in chat, though. Or our resident mods, I should say. We do have multiple mods in chat. Does anyone know why people run Dark Pulse right now over like a Brave Bird or like a Foul Play on Murkrow as the offensive move? Not that I think it's bad. I'm just like genuinely curious because I don't actually know the reason for it. But Murkrow has a lot of good priority, utility nonetheless. Even something like Pursuit we get back, which is a huge deal. Super Luck Crit Micro Sweeps. Honestly, that's the set that no one's running, but I'm saving that for my next sample. It's a mixed attacker. Oh, I mean, I know that. I feel like you get more usability. Okay, actually, Brave Bird actually would probably be a bad thing in this format in hindsight, just because you'd be killing off Murkrow, which you do need around. But I feel like Foul Play still offers a bit more, though. I guess. You know what? Never mind. No, I can kind of get behind Dark Pulse because if you're gonna be pairing this with like Intimidate Growlithe, for example, like that might not be the best call. You know, I can get behind it. Anyway, Mischievous. I'm pretty high on Mischievous personally. I actually think this is an S tier. Mischievous, really good Pokemon. We're gonna sort the S and S pluses. I'm not sorting anything else because it's just gonna get too obnoxious. But I think Mischievous is one of the better S tiers for sure. This is probably, in my opinion, the epitome of like the best Trick Room setter in the tier. Pure Ghost typing is really valuable. We have a lot of good fighting types we're gonna get into later on. We've already gotten to like Mankey and obviously the Scrappy Farfetch is gonna be a great way to still hit this with the fighting types tab. But things like Mienfoo, Kubfu, we have the Sneasel, Hisui, that all can definitely get pretty well checked by this Pokemon. Mischievous is decent. I would personally say this is a really good Pokemon, and I think that it's literally the peak of Trick Room. Girafarig also kind of sucks, but I think it's a little bit better than Yanma. Again, I'm not sorting this here, but I do think it's a bit better than Yanma, just because of the stats alone. Like, I think Girafarig realistically has enough going for it with, like, 90 special attack, 85 speed. Like, that's not terrible. It has, like, no bad stat, and its move pool is really good, too. Inner Focus isn't terrible if you're going to go with, like, physical sets, because it has enough of a move pool for physical as well. But also things like Sap Sipper for, like, a Spore immunity is decent. I don't see the image in Mischievous yet, but I haven't used it. I think Mischievous is really good, personally. One of the biggest things that it gets, obviously, is the fact that it gets Will-O-Wisp, which a lot of the other triggered Pokemon do not get. And the fact that you can pressure stuff really well, like the Sneasel. Like, this is, in my opinion, this is, like, as good of a Sneasel Hisui check as you get. But it's not terrible. I think realistically, like, there's some reasons to not run Mischievous over other Trick Room, but I think it's more team dependent. I think it's definitely one of the better options for sure in this format for Trick Room, if not the very best. Lower than Porygon feels like a crime. Honestly, I completely disagree with that entirely. I think Porygon's like an actual viable normal type Trick Room setter. Built-in recovery is really good. It gets some really good just general utility, and download I think it's a lot more potent. However, I do think the gap is less than the staff team at least has. Oh, actually, hold on. Where did the staff team put this? Never mind. Like, staff team, this is the way smaller the gap than I think Porygon's like still a solid A tier. Anyway, Pineco, lol. Dunsparce. Dunsparce is cool. I think it's actually a decent bulky normal with Glare. I'd be willing to give this a C tier, especially because they did not restrict Dunsparce. Fun fact. So for anyone who wants to go with like a nice Serene Grace Rock Slide Pokemon, I've given you your tools right here. If we want to think of like a good Dunsparce set, I'll actually switch over to the Showdown window for this. I'll have to, this will be in my next sample, I promise, guys. We're gonna build around just Dunsparce. We can go for like Rock Slide, Headbutt, Coil, Glare. Actually, we probably don't even need Rock Slide. We just go for Roost. There's your Pokemon right there. It was restricted and unrestricted. Gotcha. Yeah. This is our next new restricted right here. It's Dunsparce, baby little Dunsparce. We'll give him just the Headbutt for Rock Slide, to be honest, just for a nice neutral option in most Pokemon. There's not a lot of good seals. I do think it's definitely good. I think actually it's a non-restricted. I'm willing to give it a B tier. I think this is a decent Pokemon. I do agree, to be fair, it would be one of the worst restricteds in the format. I would probably value it better than Yanma and Girafarig, though. That's about it. I can't in good faith really put it above anything else. But I do think I'm willing to give this a B tier, actually. Anyway, Gligar. I think Gligar is an easy S tier. This mon is kind of nuts. I think it's personally just better Scyther, better dual stab, better typing defensively. It's better toolkit because you have built-in Clear Amulet, and then you just throw in an actual offensive item, or even just a Violate. This mon is super filthy. I want to try a Gligar team at some point in the stream today if we do some more battles, but it'll depend. Snubbull. I think Snubble's a decent Intimidate. Again, similar to Togepi, I think that pure Fairy typing is decent. What's the Diglett Slander? This is for doubles, obviously. Oh, you know what? Oh, I just fought you. Hi, Amanda. How are you doing? Yeah. So I'm not here for Diglett. I'll be honest. I think the mon just gets kind of folded by like anything with multi-hit, and Diglett also just being a pure ground type. I mean, it's not terrible, but Grookey's still like a really good Pokemon in this format. Like, I would consider Grookey like an S or maybe even an S plus tier personally. So being a pure ground type in a format like that, physically oriented around moves like Earthquake and stuff, like I can't in good faith give Diglett anything higher. If we were talking about like Gen 7, Diglett could probably be like a solid C or B tier. With Grookey just existing though, and the fact that trapping isn't as valuable in doubles as it is in singles, I cannot give this thing any higher. Yeah, Diglett, like 55 on a ground type is not the offense you really want to be running. Hisui Quillfish. I think Hisui Quillfish is really good. This is a decent Intimidate mon. I do think it is personally a little bit better of an Intimidate mon than like Hisui Growlithe. I think Hisui Growlithe also just benefits more from Rockhead Head Smash and Flare Blitz as well. But this is probably like the #1 restricted Intimidate mon. If we're including non-restricted, I still think it's the #1 Intimidate Pokemon, but I think that like Growlithe and Litten are definitely up there for like number 2 and 3 respectively. Hisui Quillfish also just having one weakness, and again, if we look like we have the best ground type so far on this tier list besides a restricted Pokemon in the B tier, and it's not going to get much better for ground types. So I'm gonna give this thing like a solid S tier for sure. Choice Band Earthquake. Yeah, you know, I think, am I really the first Grookey you've seen? I feel like Grookey is like really good into a lot of teams. I personally been a huge fan of the Miracle Seed set, and on the sample that I ran it on especially, like I feel like it has a lot of merit on like any Tailwind team. With the Sneasels, these are both absolutely obnoxious Pokemon. I completely agree with the sentiment to put this Sneasel up in the S plus tier. I think this is actually the #1 Pokemon of the format. That dual stab is insane for a lot of teams, and there are so few Pokemon that wants to take on both Poison and Fighting. It's just defensive Ghost, which is why I also value Mischievous so high, because it's probably the best defensive Ghost in the tier by a long shot. But even still, this mon gets stuff like Scopeland's Night Slash, could be pretty decent for checking that, and you do get your built-in Focus Energy too with the literal move for it. So I think it's decent. One thing I do think though that I disagree with the tier list on is I also would actually put Base Sneasel in the S plus tier. I think this mon is also really underexploited right now, and like again, knockoff plus triple axle is just such a filthy dual stab that it is really hard to switch around for Dark Ice, as we saw in the first match that we did on stream. This thing is absolutely obnoxious, and a Prankster immunity too for things like Thunderwave is a decent niche this has over like Hisui Sneasel. But yeah, I think they're both really good, and the built-in Intimidate as well as the built-in Fake Out Immunity is absurd on Pokemon with these offensives, because these have 95 attack and 115 speed. They're the fastest 2 Pokemon in the tier. Like come on, you literally have to build speed tiers around these two because they're that potent. Have you guys really not been seeing Grookey use? I feel like Grookey's absurd. I'm shocked. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like Grookey's like one of the best non-restricteds. Teddiursa, Guts normal. We'll give it E tier. Slugma sucks. Swinub sucks. Becca, that's the one I know you're latching onto. I'm so sorry. Corsola. Corsola, actually, this isn't a restricted Pokemon. I'm giving this an S tier actually because it's not restricted. Out of curiosity, like I'm genuinely curious, why isn't Corsola restricted? I meant to ask that as well, but I don't know why. This is it, to be fair, okay, no Trick Room does kind of hurt. I'll fully admit that like compared to Mischievous, that's a big deal. This thing still is like a decent-ish bulky ghost. With like 60, 100, 100, that's some good defensive stats. You get Curse Body 2 behind you. You have Meteor Beam for boosting offenses. There's stuff like Strain Sap and Wisp for just really good murdering of any physical threat. And as far as like a physically defensive ghost, it is a lot more viable than Mischievous, specifically on the physical end alone. Mischievous does have pretty comparable special bulk, but I think strictly on a physical end, this is the better call. You get stuff like Mirror Coat, which could be decent just because you don't have the best offenses. I feel like this mod is kind of nuts. Just kind of forgot what it does. I mean, to be fair, I will say, when I made that comment, I thought it got Trick Room. I forgot it does not get its own Trick Room. That is a big dagger. I think it's still a really good defensive ghost, but I would not restrict it because it doesn't have Speak Control outside of like Icy Wind, which on this type of Pokemon isn't really the best. But it has a lot of good utility. I think this mod is definitely decent. I would still give it an S tier for sure. I think it's probably one of the better physically defensive mitigators. Well, let me rephrase. Physically defensive ghosts. And again, specifically like checking Sneasel, this could do a decent job because you just have built-in Psychic and you have the defenses to take that on pretty comfortably. Like if we're to pull up like how much Sneasel can actually do, if we're gonna like really go in on investing and see what Sneasel Hisui could do to this versus. Yeah, no, it does function well in Trick Room for sure, but I thought it literally set its own Trick Room. So that was the reason that I was confused. But as far as, let's see, Scope, Lens, Night Slash from Hisui Sneasel. Yeah, even with Violet alone, you're 3 KO'd by Hisui Sneasel. Oh my god, yeah. Even with, for context, even with the crit, with no investment, just a Violet, it's 50 to 59, and if you just max HP this, it's already a guaranteed 3 KO from Hisui Sneasel. I think this mod can have some serious merit. It's definitely a bit passive, I won't deny that. But you can definitely invest to where, like, even through like helping hand boosts and like getting a crit with Night Slash, that Hisui Sneasel's 3 KOing you. So I would say for the fact this is not a restricted, I think it's an S tier. If this was a restricted though, I would probably put this in like a C tier. I don't think it's that great as a restricted. But you definitely get the Strength Sap and then just start going for like other moves to take on that Pokemon, unfortunately, or just go for like Wisp Hex could be decent. Also, yeah, Onix is an F tier. This mon's just not good. I'm so sorry. Remoraid. Actually, hold on. Wait, I know Remoraid gets some stuff. I don't know. No, never mind. Yeah, you're not running like Moody Remoraid. No, this is an F tier. I love Remoraid. I really do. We're not justifying Remoraid use in this format. Houndour. Houndour is kind of cool, actually. I do respect Houndour a lot as a nice offensive fire dark. Like, it's a pretty dangerous dual stab. I think Houndour is not an A tier. I think it's an B tier. It's pretty decent dark fire that's great in mons like Ghastly, Restrivus, the eventual Corsola meta that I will be pivoting. But for now though, the dual stab alone I think is decent, and you get stuff like, for example, Pursuit, which could be decent. Duraludon's considered restricted, so Duraludon is actually not legal. Duraludon is one of the 2 Pokemon that are completely banned. It is that and Type Null. And as far as Horsey goes, specifically Horsey, actually Horsey's a little more offensive than I thought it was. For some reason I was mixing up the offensive stats, I don't know why. We can give Horsey at least like a D tier. I can't lie, I did not think it was just offensive when I tiered that low. We can give Horsey D tier. I'm willing to compromise on that. I still think, for the record, that Poliwag has some decent merit to it. Poliwag has a decent Swiss Mon. It's less offensive, but that speed at 90 is a lot more valuable, in my opinion. You could probably just go with like Choice Specs and just do some decent damage. Actually, maybe I'm reading Poliwag too well. No, I think Hypnosis is also still just better utility, and this thing gets just a lot more outside of just dealing damage. No. So in this format, it's played at level 50. So Berry Juice would really not be that good. If this was the level 5, Onix would probably be a solid B tier. I fully think that. But I think considering the fact that this is not played at level 5, Onix really just has no use because it can't take advantage of Berry Juice as easily. Phanpy, I'm definitely not at gunpoint by my editor when I say this mon's an E tier. This mon can get E tier. Becca, don't kill me. I know she's still lurking in this chat. Becca, don't kill me. Stantler. I think Stantler's decent. I gotta put it in D for now to drag it up, but I'm gonna put Stantler in this. I'm gonna put it in A tier. I personally think the gap between Stantler and Porygon is a lot smaller, just because of the fact that, again, two of the Pokemon I would personally say are in the S Plus are immune to Intimidate, and we have a lot of other good picks coming up, like Manfu that's immune to Intimidate, obviously Gligar's immune to Intimidate, and this is before even like Clear Amulet Pokemon. I don't value the Intimidate on Stantler as high. I think that Porygon as a nice special attacker has some decent merit there, as well as the fact that Stantler also just has a lot worse of a speed stat for setting Trick Room. It still has some other things outside of Trick Room that it can do, to be fair. I mean, the pure normal typing alone is really good, and it has some decent offensive moves. But I don't really see why you would just use this as a pure normal type if you're not trying to go for utility, because I don't see a lot of a place for an offensive pure normal type in this format. Unless you're type null. If we allowed type null, that one would be nuts. Because its bulk is just a lot better naturally to kick your crit. Yeah, in level 5 formats, Onix would be absurd. You just run, like, Weak Armor, Beat Up, plus, like, Rock Slide and Berry Juice, and you would just kill teams on lead. But, unfortunately, though, that's not the format we're playing. Let's see. Tyrogue, I forget if Tyrogue doesn't get Follow Me, yeah. This thing gets, like, an E tier, I guess, for Fake Out. This thing gets, like, some okay support. Like, it's a very specific support you get, but, like, Fake Out, and then, like, this thing gets Faint, right? Yeah, it gets, like, Faint, and then, like, Helping Hand. I think you get Upper Hand, too. Yeah, Upper Hand. It's a lot of specific utility, but, like, please don't use Tyrogue. This mon is, like, 35 all around. Let's be better than this. Tyrogue is purely even not an F tier because of the moves it gets. There's no other reason. Don't use Tyrogue. I beg you. Smoochum. I forget if this is one of the Follow Me mons or not. I do need to actually double check that, because if it is a Follow Me mon, I think it's kind of decent. Otherwise, it's really not that good. Yeah, no, it's not really that good. We'll give this like an E tier. I still think a Dry Skin is not terrible in this. No, it's such bad stats, but the move pool is so good. These Pokemon I actually think have no place in the format. I think at minimum, so it has no moves through level up, but it gets a lot of good egg moves. Like, it gets Upper Hand, Fake Out, Faint. It's one of the few Pokemon on the triple priority. It also gets, I believe it's Wide Guard 2, if I remember correctly. That might be Cope. No, it is Cope, yeah. But it still gets, never mind, it doesn't even get Coaching. It still gets Helping Hand, though. Like, Helping Hand triple priority is not terrible. You also get, like, High Jump Kick. No, never mind. I mean, you get Seismic Toss for more, like, passive damage. Yeah, I'd be willing to put this in the E tier at least. As far as Smoochum goes, though, I'm putting Smoochum in D tier. Ice Psychic is not terrible as far as, like, an offensive typing goes, and Smoochum's stats are decent. Like, 85 special attack is pretty good. Also, Oblivious, you just can't get, like, taunted, which isn't the worst when you have Encore. But, like, again, you're not really getting a lot of value out of Encore in a Pokemon with, like, these defenses. Still got some other decent utility, like Icy Wind. Yeah, so we're going by Pokedex numbers. The only things that are getting sorted in order are the S and S plus tiers. Otherwise, though, it's just Pokedex numbers. But I think Smoochum's definitely a solid, like, D tier pick. I think it has some decent utility to it. I like it in Magby. I think these are E tier, not E tier, C tiers for sure. Because I mean, I actually dragged Ralts up. I'm not sure where that happened. Ralts should be like right around here. We'll put it right there, sure. Yeah, I think these are both C tiers. It's still decent Fake Out, not Fake Out. Still decent Follow Me Pokemon. I think Pichu getting Fake Out is a decent niche it has over like Elekid as a competitor, as well as Lightning Rod. But Elekid's stats are just a lot better. And then Magby, meanwhile, with just not Flame Body. No, it doesn't Flame Body, yeah. As well as Vital Spirit too, just having a nice Follow Me Pokemon that can draw and Spore. Actually, I would go as far as to say these are B tiers. I think these are decent picks, especially maybe not Elekid. Elekid I think is a bit more competition with Pichu, but I think that Magby is actually just probably one of the better Follow Me mons. This is still definitely like one of, if not the very best Follow Me mons, but I would say Magby's like a decent runner-up for sure. Follow Me and Static are just with Flame Body and Static is just too good. I think the issue being though is I think that Elekid definitely does have an actual niche that it has to sort through with Pichu. And also, I feel like Magby is a lot better of a spammable move in Heat Wave, whereas Elekid's like best spammable move is probably Electro Web, and then like single target attacks. Elekid still is decent. I think it's still some merit, and for what it's worth, if I was sorting the C tiers, this would probably be currently the number, like at least number one, if not like top 3 in the C tier. But I'm not sorting the lower tiers because that gets too hectic too quickly. Larvitar, it's Guts with decent dual stab. I'm willing to give it D tier. There's not a lot more to it, but like Guts with ground rock is kind of filthy. It's might be the best non-restricted. Would you really say that? I personally, I don't know if I go that far. I still think I would be Grookey. I think Squirtle has a lot going for it, and it's still probably one of the better ones for sure. Because as far as S and S plus non-restricted, there's probably gonna be like maybe 5-ish more. But Squirtle is still like a really good option. I would still probably put that in like my top 10 for non-restricted, or at least like right outside of it. Also, I'm gonna open up my drink real quick. I will be just a second before we continue. By the way, for anyone in the stream, I don't think I've plugged it yet, but if you want to consider leaving a like, it would be greatly appreciated. It helps a lot with the content. I think I've literally went over an hour and I've not once asked for any likes, so I'm so sorry for anyone who might have forgotten. Yeah, no, it has Fake Out Ball in me, which is decent. And it has some decent bulk too. I think the biggest issue though, and I think it'll become a lot more apparent as the format evolves, is the fact that Grookey is, in my opinion, it does pressure a lot of good cores. It's great into most Pokemon. Like, I think even just looking at the list so far, right? It's just like these two and Hisui Sneasel. Well, I guess, okay, these 4. These are the only 4, I think, upper tiers, and this is pretty much as it gets as far as S and S pluses that Grookey really doesn't like. And even as outside of like Fake Out rules, Grassy Glide just is a nice revenge killer option, is really strong. It's probably one of the better means of priority in the tier. Grookey also just being a pure grass type is decent to avoid Rage Powder spammers. I think it has a lot of merit. Squirtle is a nice support utility kit. I think the bigger issue with Squirtle though is the fact that it's just, unfortunately, compared to a lot of the other bulkier Pokemon, while its stats aren't terrible, I think it just doesn't hold up with like actual walls in the tier. Like compared to something like a Tangela, which Tangela is like a Fizz Def, like that's a wall right there. Squirtle is just a more, it can take a hit or two, and it can do a lot of versatile stuff. But I don't think that there's any one stat on Squirtle that I would say that's a really good stat on Squirtle. If it wasn't so versatile stat-wise, to say the least, I think it could be definitely an S tier for sure. I think that's the thing holding it back for me though. Squirtle fits on teams more than Grookey. I think Squirtle is more splashable, but I don't think it's as potent is the issue. Or even, I don't even think its impact is as felt, in my personal opinion. Though maybe that's just that I'm spamming Grookey and I've never had to worry about Squirtle. But I don't really know too much. Maybe it's just personal bias. Maybe I'll change my opinion on that as the format goes. I was too quick to say that Squirtle would be. I'm actually, you know what? I'm actually willing to give Squirtle an S tier. I'm thinking out loud, I'm willing to put it above this, and I'm even willing to put it above Quillfish. I do think that compared to these, though, I think these are just objective, like the Scyther and up. I think these are just so much better Pokemon, just stat and toolkit-wise. As far as, these two are really good offensive monsters, and this also just, like, a really good Trick Room support. I think these top 3 are just so absurd. I think a Squirtle, at least, probably is, in hindsight, more practical than Corsola. Just the toolkit is a lot more practical, like specific team customization. This unironically is probably more of the formats in Sinnoh than like actual Litten would be. I can't lie. But I still do think that Grookey is probably a better Pokemon personally. But this is, I think in hindsight it's definitely better than I was giving it credit for. What I think I'll do before we end up. 1 second, sorry, I'm getting my phone blown up by Nexus. He's finally awake at a fucking reasonable time for once. Let's see. Okay. No, what? Okay. Solid. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. So what I think I'll do is I'm gonna go through the Hoenn Pokemon, and then I'll probably request some more battles. When I get through like 2/3 of Hoenn, like when we get to like the fossils, I'll probably ping for it and just finish up Hoenn and then do my next battle. In case anyone wants to do that. But as far as our next picks go, with the starters, we have the Hoenn starters, obviously. Trico's okay. I think realistically, Trico just having like Quick Guard is kind of decent enough on its own. Also just Unburden could be kind of cool. I think Trico's something it's gonna be a lot more specific to like how things ebb and flow. I don't think right now it's that great, but like Upper Hand is kind of decent. There's a lot of good Fake Out and not a lot of good anti-priority. So I think like having Fake Out plus, well not Fake Out, having Quick Guard plus Upper Hand. Like Trico, I think at minimum has that as a decent enough kit for it. We'll have to see. Better not have Skitty Slander. Man, why do I have so many people in my chat threatening me to put their favorites and not F tier? This is so sad. Torchic sucks. Don't use Torchic as your fire type. Torchic, I mean, Torchic with speed boost and base 70 isn't terrible, but like, Torchic is just no move pool. You have to run this thing mixed because Torchic just isn't really doing much otherwise. And even then, like, there's better speedy options. There's better just offensive fire types. Don't use Torchic. Mudkip too. Don't use Mudkip either. Please, no one use Mudkip in VGC. I beg you. I get it's like half of this chat's favorite starter probably, but like, don't use Mudkip. Heatwave spam, yeah, Heatwave spam. Actually, Heatwave spam on speed boost is kind of okay. I'm willing to give it an E tier. I'm willing to give it E tier for speed boost plus Heatwave. Put your favorite in lull tier. What's your favorite? I feel like I need to know that before I put it in the lull tier. Poochyena, I guess. No, it's not because you're the ultimate cooker. It's because you're my editor. I fucking have you on payroll. That's the reason why. Don't confuse them. You're so fucked up for that, Becca, by the way. Quick Feet. All these Quick Feet mons are garbage. They're not getting anywhere. Wormpole gets lull. This is like just shittier Weedle. Lotad. Does Lotad get anything? I know it's like Fake Out, but does Lotad get like real utility? Those stats are so bad. Those stats are so bad. Like they're almost Tyrogue bad, but Tyrogue's move pool is so good I kind of had to. Yeah, no, I'm gonna be honest. Even with like Icy, when this thing is too slow with Rain Up, this thing doesn't even get Fake Out. Actually, no, this is an F tier. Your favorite is Litten? No, nice try. I'm on my payroll because I cook. Shut up. Taylor. Okay, Taylor. I can't lie. Taylor on that snow team was actually kind of decent. I think it's a decent wall breaker as far as offensive normals go. And normals also are just always better in like these little cup sort of formats because there's a lack of good steals. And a lot of the wrong types that would have been good in little cup just aren't good in this type of format. Yeah, no, I realized that after the fact. Lotad definitely is an F tier. But I think Taylor actually might be a B tier. Taylor's kind of cool. This thing again, just guts plus like facade and quick attack and like Brave Bird. Or I don't actually know if this gets Brave Bird. Does it get Brave Bird? The one that I fought had wing attack, which I still think is decent. It does get Brave Bird. Okay, like Brave Bird quick attack. Honestly, that alone. It also gets Pursuit back, which is decent for Ghosts. I'd be willing to give this thing a solid B tier, actually. I think this mon is decent. This mon could cook. As far as the Route 1 birds go, this is probably one of the better ones. I would really only say Fletchling is definitively better. I think it might be... Oh, you know what? That reminds me. I have a Picky Peck hot take later on. Lotad can look cute. That is right. But unfortunately, this isn't the cute tier. This is the F tier. Wingle. Yikes. This mon gets gutty compared to Pellet Bird, but fast water flying stab is decent offensively. Yeah, this thing is decent offensive stab combination, so like I'll give it E tier off of that. It's like with the Staryu where it doesn't have a practical niche, but like water flying is decent. Actually hold on, does this thing get Hurricane? That's gonna be the decider here. Does Wingle get Hurricane? It does get Hurricane and Hydro Pump actually. It gets Icy one too. Yeah, this one get kind of cook. I'd be willing to give it an E tier. I might. Does this thing get? Hold on. Does this thing get like anything like Muddy Water? It does get Muddy Water. Actually, hold on. Okay, Muddy Water, Icy Wind, and Hurricane actually could be decent for Rain. You would need another Rain mon, like a Prankster Rain mon, but this thing could actually maybe be okay. I'm willing to give it a D tier actually. I think Wingle at minimum is probably better than like Polybag Horsey. But just, again, no actual rain setting is really grim for this Pokemon because it needs rain to be good. However, I do think, though, that you can definitely do a lot with, like, Muddy Water, Icy Wind, Hurricane Protect on a rain team with this, and I think it could have some merit. Lowtown, yeah, no, those mods, they're not good. Surskit, yeah. Surskit's not good, but it's not terrible. I'm putting this in E tier because I fear for my life. And like, to be fair, this thing actually does have some kind of okay things to it. Like, it gets like Chilling Water, and Bug Water is not a terrible type. Icy Wind is not bad. You get like String Slide actually being spread is kind of cool, I will say. That could maybe do decent on a one like this, and like Soak also could be not terrible. And Swift Swim with that, like this actually does have a kind of cool Swift Swim kit as like a utility Pokemon. I am kind of willing to give this thing like a C tier. So I actually moved Cyndaquil up. Cyndaquil being the only Eruption Pokemon in this tier is like a decent niche this has. It's also a Flash Fire Pokemon, which is kind of okay. Like Immunity's never bad. That's why I actually didn't put it in the F tier. But being the only Eruption Pokemon is such a good niche. I can give this thing C tier. That's a good niche that it has. Shroomish. Shroomish? What's this thing's... I do need to double check a few things, because I know Shroomish gets Spore, which is decent. However, it doesn't really get like any other utility. I feel like you would just rather run Fungus or Tangela. Yeah, this thing gets like no other utility. I'll give it E tier off of Spore alone. It's purely because Spore is such a dumb move. Yeah, it is the only LC Eruption Pokemon. So like that alone is such a good niche that has. So yeah, Cyndaquil gets E tier. Shroomish gets E tier just because Spore. Ralts, I know Ralt has like some decent stats. What's the... Oh, never mind. No, I'm thinking of Mime Junior still. This mon sucks. Slackoth, lol. Nincada sucks. Whismur, does Whismur actually get anything? I feel like Whismur's bad. Yeah, no, Whismur's like bad. This doesn't even get Boom Burst. If I got Boom Burst, I could maybe put in like D tier. No, this mon sucks. Yeah, no, honestly, yeah, the Hoenn roster folds to the Scythers. And, well, the Scyther and Sneasels. Makuhita, yeah, so Abra, it doesn't get Lychee, which Fungus doesn't, well, I would not guess, but, like, Lychee's not really good in doubles. If this was singles, there could be actual merit to that, I think. And yeah, Abra has decent stats. That's why it's in the B tier altogether, though. It's really kind of off his stats. Makuhita gets a D tier. This thing gets some decent utility. Unfortunately, Makuhita's stats are really bad, but I think it's just the better version of what Tyrogue is. This could be decent on Trick Room though, because like 25 speed with 60 attack in Guts is not terrible. And you get stuff like Fake Out, which could ease that Trick Room process. I think you also get Upper Hand. You do get Upper Hand, yeah. And you even get like a lot of Hariyama's good offensive moves like Rock Slide, and you get Low Kick. Well, Low Kick is not good in this format, but like Close Combat is decent. Makuhita it's surprisingly frail, yeah. No, I mean Makuhita is definitely frail. Because like 72 is not bad for HP. When you get 30 and 30 defenses, like it's not great. Especially on a mon you can't really throw a Violate comfy on because you do need the Flame Orb. But I think Fake Out Upper Hand alone with like Wide Guard support is decent for it. And then also again just like Guts with offensive stabs. I think at minimum it represents the D tier well, where these Pokemon have like decent kits, but they just can't really consistently pull them off. Azurill, no. Nose Pass. What does Nose Pass get? Does Maku get Wide Guard? It does get Wide Guard. Yeah, that's the thing it puts it in D tier, I think. Because it's just a better Tyrogue at the end of the day. Let me look at Nose Pass really quickly, because I do forget what this thing gets. I know it gets a lot of just moves. I just don't think it gets like anything that really justifies its presence. Yeah, no, this one kind of booty. I guess Magnet Ball and not Steel type is kind of okay. No, there's not really good steals. We'll give it F tier. Skitty, oh my god, yes, my favorite Little Cup Pokemon. What does Skitty not do? Skitty does a lot well. Wonder Skin, fucking broken ability. This thing gets fake. Oh, actually, it gets fake out. It's not too awful. Yeah, I mean, Wonder Skin might actually not be too horseshit. Maybe I don't need to lie too much about this Pokemon. Yeah, I'm willing to give Skitty a E tier because I value my life. Yeah, I guess Magnet Pull, but like again, just unfortunately, I think there's not really good steals in the format, so it's too circumstantial. I think like we haven't gotten really good. Skitty doesn't Oko Instant, yeah. No, honestly, Skitty doesn't Oko Instant. We'll put it in the lull tier. Yeah, no, I think realistically, I mean like Fake Out and Wonder Skin isn't terrible. Like that's a cool combination to have, and Wonder Skin as an ability is kind of nuts. Aeron sucks. Meditite's kind of cool. I do value Meditite a lot. It's a decent wall breaker. Fake Out also is really good on this mon. It has some decent priority with like Bullet Punch too. The biggest issue I have with Meditite is the fact that Meditite, unfortunately, even with Pure Power, is still only base 40-40, which isn't great, but it can still hit decently hard. I think you definitely need to go with like offensive item on this mon to justify it, which means that, especially with like a Bandit set, like Fake Out's gonna be a little bit worse. But this could maybe have some niche in like Tailwind, for example. Yeah, no, a lot of these mods are so underwhelming stat-wise. Like, you can make a lot of them work for a little lock setting. Electric is not the best, but Lightning Rod isn't terrible. We'll give it E tier. Gulpin, no. Carvana, I know it gets speed boost, but no, this one, just don't use it. Wilmer, no. Nummel, I need to actually look at Nummel a bit. I need to think about this one, because I know this thing gets, like, some kind of cool stuff, like, Symbol's not terrible, but you don't really have a lot to take advantage of it outside of Curse, I guess. This doesn't really get the best move pool for that. I guess Curse Rock Slide and, like, high horsepower and, like, Flare Blitz could be kind of decent on Trick Room. It's 35. I'll give this, like, a E tier. That dual stab combination is really good. There's not a lot going for it otherwise, though, but, like, Fire Ground is an obnoxious dual stab. Spoink, I need to compare Spoink's kit, actually. Spoink, yeah, I mean, honestly, Spoink having own tempo plus, but no, never mind. I'm thinking of Inner Focus, because this can get fake outed. This has got a lot going for it, though, utility-wise, and its stats are not bad. I'm actually willing to give Spoink, like, an E tier, maybe even a D tier. I think D tier is a little insulting to, like, Natsu. I'm not comfortable moving Natsu up. But I think it's at least comparable to, like, Drowsy. Because this thing just has, like, pretty optimized stats. Trappage! I know I said Trapping's garbage in VGC, but I need to take a moment to address the fact that Trappage has, like, an actual offensive stat. And I think specifically on Trick Room teams, Trappage could be kind of a monster. It is one of the slowest Pokemon in the format. There are there are pretty much no Pokemon that underpace Trapinch as far as speed tiers go. For context, in this tier we have Bonsai that ties it, Pharisee that ties it, Gossiflare that ties it, Gimmighoul's Chest Form that ties it, Munchlax that underpaces it, and that's it. So I would personally say this plus 100 attack and Arena Trap, I'm actually willing to give this thing a B tier. I think Trapinch has, like, a real place in this format. Being one of the better offensive mons in the tier physically. Having a, like, this is probably one of the better ground types, I would say. And actually, I would actually go as far as to say this is probably better than Cubone. The biggest thing Cubone has is the electric type immunity, but there's not a lot of good electric types. I would personally actually be willing to give this thing an A tier. I think Trapinch has some merit. I would be willing to see Trapinch, like, really progress in the format like this. Like, it does decent. We need a good ground type right now. I could get behind Trapinch being that good non-restricted ground type. Sheer Force also, yeah, Sheer Force is also pretty decent. And even still, even if for some reason you don't want either of those, it also gets Hyper Cutter as an intimidating immunity. Trapinch might be good. Like, this might actually be a good Trigger mod. I need to ask the mods, do we have a sample with Trapinch? Because if not, I might look into building a sample that has Trapinch, like, unironically. This mod could cook on Trick Room. I feel like this thing actually has a lot going for it. Because you just go with, like, Earthquake, Rock Slide, and then, like, probably some sort of, what's the single target ground move here? Oh, does this thing, don't make me lower this, because it doesn't get a good Grookey physical ground move. No, it doesn't get a good physical ground move. I mean, chat was saying Grookey doesn't really have a lot of use right now. Maybe Trapinch is fine. I'm willing to give it A tier. I'm still willing to give it A tier. Don't think it's been used. Yeah, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. But I'll have to start bumping up this Trapinch usage. Maybe we'll finally start using Grookey after all. Something that's really weird is Trapinch gets 3 abilities, including hidden ability. Yeah, no, it's one of the few Pokemon that, like, lost abilities down the line. I know Weavile also lost an ability because they lost Pickpocket from Sneasel. There's not a lot like that. Cacnea is cool. By that I mean I like Cacnea. Yeah, no, it's only Munchlax though, and there's like 5 other speed ties, and that's about it. It's still like the second slowest speed tier for Trick Room mons though, which is decent. Swablu, again, it's another Cloud9 mon, and like the utility Swablu gets is kind of decent. At least assuming it's Altari's utility. Like, normal flying's not terrible. And this thing gets like does this get Wisp? If it gets Wisp, oh no, it doesn't get Wisp. Okay, never mind. This one sucks. If it's got like the Altari utility, this could have maybe been easier. Barboach, no. If this is singles, maybe. Corphish, this is no Terra. Corphish, this thing still gets adaptability, right? Yeah, I'm willing to adaptability and Hypercutter are both not terrible. This thing gets some decent offensive moves like Knockoff, Liquidation, Aqua Jet. I'm willing to give this thing like a D tier. Actually, I'm willing to give it a D tier. First impression too. Yeah, no, exactly. It's a great priority way to hit Sneasel right there. One of the best Pokemon right now. Claydol, sorry, not Claydol. Baltoid, no. Let me think for that battle real quick while we're finishing up this tier. Let me see. Let me see. Baby fighter. OT sheet in 5. Yeah, so we'll do a battle in 5. I do think that Corphish though with adaptability Aqua Jet is decent. Like this could be a decent wall breaker. I just think that realistically it's more outclassed by Bask. Okay. Perfect. Alright, so I'll be fighting you up next. Alright, so Lily, this thing's still gets Storm Drain, right? That might not be terrible. We have like this unironically could be a really good check to Bask. That's about it. I'm willing to give it D tier off of that. Like that dual stab is also not terrible. Like Rock Grass is pretty decent offensively. But if so many Prevas get Hyper Cutter, honestly I have no clue. Anorith, I think Anorith is kind of shit. What does this thing get moveset wise again? I know it doesn't get a lot. Like 95 attack is good, but this thing I don't think. Oh, actually it does get Rock Slide still. Okay. What does it get for like ground coverage? It gets Dig and like. Yeah, I know this one doesn't get a lot. Doesn't even get like if it got like Tantrum, I think I'd be willing to put this thing in like a D tier. It doesn't even get like a physical ground move. For physical options, this thing gets like the coverage is pretty bad. Brick Break is like Brick Break knockoff and like Exo are like as good as it gets. Ugh. Yeah, no, this thing could stay in the F tier to be honest. Actually, I'll give it E tier just because it has priority. Plus, also like Switchman could help with Aqua Jet. Feebas, unironically, I think Feebas got some like decent moves to it. Like it's mon, yeah, adaptability plus like special water is not terrible. It does get Ice Beam. And Hidden Power actually would kind of benefit this mon. I don't know if it's legal in our format, but if it is, that's decent for it. I think even still like adaptability, special water could, like this could be a T tier. Gets a good speed set too at like base 80. Actually, oh, never mind. I don't know why I put that so high. I forgot this thing has 10 in offenses. Yeah, this gets lull tier, unfortunately. I forgot door's closed for Feebas. I'm so sorry I made that mistake. Shuppet. Yeah, Shuppet, 75 attack's not terrible on a ghost type, and this does get like Shadow Sneak and Poltergeist. I'm willing to give it E tier. Duskull, I think just being a non-restricted version of Mischievous is cool. So because it's not competing for the restricted space, I'm actually willing to give this thing like a C tier. This could be a decent bulky check to like the Sneasel line, for example. Duskull. Also just being like a nice levitate mon. It's still really passive, but having immunity is a decent niche over the Corsola here. Because that extra immunity to ground is not terrible. Let's see. Why not? Trapping's not great, and why not just doesn't exist in a format like this because it's only relying on counter and mirror coat, which are really inconsistent. We have Snowrun. No, this one's bad. Spheal, does Spheal get any good utility? I feel like Spheal might, but its stats are just not good. Yeah, this one just doesn't really get anything. Unfortunate, because this thing could have maybe been okay. Yeah, no, this thing gets an F tier. Clamperl. Now, Clamperl is decent. I'm actually a huge fan of Clamperl. I think this thing is a decent Pokemon offensively. I'm willing to give it a B tier. Especially huge power is really decent with Deep Sea Tooth, and it's a pretty good wall breaker. Yeah, Mischievous is a restricted Pokemon in this format. But I think that Clamperl is definitely a pretty decent just Deep Sea Tooth option for a win con. You don't get the best moveset on this, but like you really just need Water Stab plus Ice Beam, and this can do enough. Again, 74 has a nice special attack stat. If you were to even invest this as like a non-special attack, like a non-modest Pokemon, right? So it already hits 254 special attack. I think that's easily one of the most obnoxious in the tier. This thing is absolutely nuts, and you also have like Chill Armor, which is decent. I'm gonna get this a B tier for sure. No Pitchfork or Steel. Bagon, no, Bagon's bad. I think like why would you ever use Bagon? It has like Sheer Force and like actually Sheer Force Rock Slide. That's not terrible. Well, no, yeah, why would you use Sheer Force Rock Slide? No, you're just hurting the one reason to use Rock Slide. Yeah, no, Bagon can get like an E tier. That's all I'm willing to give it. And then Beldum, this thing get like actual moves. Because I know it gets like Clear Body, which is decent. No, this thing gets no moves. This can get the LOL tier. This thing get like TMs or tutors. Okay, so for an update on our tier list so far, again, only the S tiers are ordered. We have our tier list. For better or worse, this is where we're at so far through the Hoenn region. We're going to take another battle. Yeah, Shield Force Flamethrower could be kind of decent, but unfortunately Bagon has like no special attack. It's not like Salamence where like you could viably run it mixed. I mean, Bagon's special attack is like 40. That's really not good. But I guess with Shield Force it's kind of okay. I mean, Tauros uses that in like PU or NU sometimes. But like even still, I mean, Bagon just, it doesn't have a great use of its typing in my opinion. Anyway, I am ready for that battle now whenever you are ready. No rush on the challenge though, but I am game for our next open team sheet battle. While I'm waiting for the challenge though at Sex City, we're gonna be doing more tiering. Turtwig gets an E tier. This is an okay bulky grass with shell armor. That's about it. That's all I'll give it. Chimchar I also think is an E tier. It's move pool carried here for sure. And then Piplup I'm willing to give like a D tier. I think this could maybe rise if we get like actual good Intimidate. I know there are a lot of like just almost good Intimidate mons, but a lot of top tiers just being immune to it does kind of hurt. Piplup could be good as like a response to that, but it's not currently good in my opinion. Competitive though wouldn't be terrible on that Pokemon. Starly, I don't think Starly really gets anything outside of just the fact that it's like reckless. And yeah, it doesn't even get Intimidate. If it got Intimidate, I could maybe justify putting it in like a D tier. Unfortunately, it doesn't. I'll give it like E tier off of just Reckless Braver. That's still gonna hit hard. Bidoof gets an F tier. If this was water normal, we can maybe talk about Bidoof being like a nice simple Pokemon, but it's not. Kricketot gets lol. Shinx gets an E tier because of Intimidate, but the typing isn't really the best for Intimidate. Like a lot of Pokemon just aren't gonna care about Pure Electric because it doesn't resist any key stabs. Badoo sucks. Cranidos, I actually think Cranidos is kind of not terrible. This thing has some decent offenses. Like this is one of the hardest hitting physical mons in the tier at 124. Oh, sorry, 125. And 58 speed is not terrible, and just as a nice Tailwind mon either, with just Rock Slide and Sheer Force. You can make this mon cook. I'd actually be willing to put this thing in the C tier. I think Cranidos has some actual merit. We're gonna switch over to our battle cam real quick while we do our next battle. I'm gonna go back to the Sneasel team because I do like it a lot. Galahufa. Let me turn off the timer because I keep setting it to auto. So we're fighting a Hisui Sneasel team with also Scarf, Water Spout, Whalmer. Yeah, no, 125 attack is absurd. We have Pumpkaboo, which is a nice ally switch Triggermon. We have Squirtle with Faked Out. Ooh, this is Rain Dance. Okay, Rain Dance is kind of cool. I like it, especially with the Whalmer. We have Munchlax and we have Skitty. Okay, so it does also get Sheer Force, which is decent for it. Okay, I'm gonna lead off with Magby and Sneasel. My goal should just be to try and deter Tricker as quickly as possible. We're gonna go for, I feel like we're gonna definitely go for Fletchling. I like it as a Brave Bird bot here. And I do kind of like Grookey here for just the dual water. I'm not as huge on Frillish, even with the water absorb that I did change it to from the sample. I know the team can't really touch it that well, but at the same time I feel like I do just need Grookey more as a nice revenge killer here. So I'm gonna go with that. Good luck, have fun now. We'll probably end up, by the way, going for about another hour, give or take. And then wherever we finish, or wherever we don't finish, I'll continue on Monday. We'll probably stream again at like the 12 o'clock same time. Munchlax and Skitty lead. Okay, perfect. So at minimum, they did not lead off with any sort of... They didn't lead off with any sort of Pokemon that I really care too much about here. I'm going to Fake Out into the Skitty, because I just don't want it to Fake Out my Sneasel and go for the kill immediately. And I'm gonna go for Flamethrower into Munchlax and hope for a burn. Actually, I'll go for Heat Wave. I think that's gonna be better. Because that normalized Silk Scarf will actually kind of hurt from Skitty. That could be decent because it gets a huge boost off of that. We're just gonna get Body Slam. Thankfully, it does not kill though, but the Parrot it does kind of suck. Which Flutterman was restricted. Not in this format. Not in this format at all. Okay. So I'm gonna go for Heat Wave here, and then I'm gonna go for a knockoff into the Munchlax. If they let me knock off, that would be great. So we get rid of the berry right there. Perfect. That Munchlax is dead. That's like their best win con right there. Trick Room does hurt for sure, but the fact that we are now slower, at least than the Sneasel, is kind of huge. I'm gonna just go for Dual Protect because there's not really a reason to go for anything else. My goal should just be to avoid letting the Sneasel Fake Out and then claim a kill with Poltergeist Pumpkaboo here. Because they could definitely just go for Fake Out into my Sneasel just for the damage, and that probably kills. So I would like to avoid that. Thankfully, though, I think that realistically my Magby can kind of clean. Like Magby plus the Fletchling in the back will definitely do some decent work to this team. So I'm pretty content with that. The Slipscraft normalized Skitty, though, is decent offensively. Like I can do some like real damage there, so I do fuck with that. They're gonna just Poltergeist my Sneasel, that's fine. They're probably gonna go for like close combat. Yep, okay. That is perfectly fine. We'll just go into Fletchling here. And I'm just gonna Brave Bird the Sneasel because they don't have Protect. Even if they swap, I'm kind of okay with that, with like the ally switch there. I just would rather go for the Brave Bird into the Sneasel because ideally I can just kill it. Perfect, okay. Solid. And then at this point we just go for Heat Wave. Well, we just go for Flamethrower spam. Oh, Pumpkubu died, never mind. GG, well played. Let me pull a good team. Yeah, no worries, no worries. We can pull up a real team. I fuck with a Skitty team though. Honestly, I fuck with a Skitty team. With the no thick fat. So it's Gluttony, so it can activate the berry sooner. It's pretty decent actually in that regard. Ooh, okay, we're fighting Mischievous. A snow team with Mischievous, that's actually really cool. I like this a lot. Auroraville, yeah, as I said, Snow has been doing decent on ladder. I've noticed it in a few of these games. This is a Colbert Berry Nasty Plot Mischievous. I like that a lot in Veil actually, especially with the Violet Munchlax just being 3 attacks. This team cooks. This team definitely cooks. I feel like this is, if I had a comment, I feel like it's definitely more of a close sheet team. Because you would always assume that Belly Drum Munchlax is in this team, when in reality that's a Nasty Plot Mischievous, which is still very deadly, by the way. But it's just not what you would typically expect to see there is all. They do have Covert Cloak, which just alarmed me a little bit. I need to lead off with Magby Fletchling, I think, just so I can Tailwind up immediately. They do have, actually no, I need to lead off with Magby Sneasel. I forgot to say good luck and fun to my opponent. I feel like a cunt. We're gonna go for Magby and Sneasel. Magby should outpace actually the Snow anyway, so I'm not too concerned there. And I can just Fake Out into either Sandshrew or Apom that will definitely partner lead here. I'm gonna go with the Frillish for sure. Frillish is a field day against this team. And I think my final mon will be Mianfu late game. Them not having Tailwind is great because I don't need to burn the Fletchling this game. And they don't have a lot of flying weak mons, which is great. Oh my god, okay. Yeah, we're gonna go for Heat Wave here. Claim my kills, and then we're gonna go for Fake Out into Apom before it goes for Fake Out back. They're gonna Protect. I really don't mind that. They're gonna go for Dual Protect. Okay. That's still not a big deal. I can actually probably just go for Triple Axle and Apom. Plus, I think I'll still go for Heat Wave. I'm a little concerned with the miss, but I would rather, if I mess up on my Triple Axle, just kill. Thank you, Becca. I appreciate it. And then, like, if I kill Apom, it's a nice single target hit too, which is decent. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, perfect. We kill Apom. And then we also kill the Vulpix. That's great. The Sandshrew in the back will be kind of decent, because that mon does outpace Sneasel, unfortunately. And them having the Colbert Berry does hurt a bit. Now, thankfully, I can just go for Follow Me here. Despite the fact that my fire typing is really appreciated, I would rather actually just go for the Triple Axle into Mischievous, because I think that mon will be a little bit more annoying for my back. Actually, no, I should just go for Protect and Protect. I know they could definitely Nasty Plot. Actually, I'm going to go for Protect and Triple Axle. I definitely do value going for keeping my Magby alive, because I want to keep it alive as long as possible. I think it will be nice next to the Frillish. But I can't see a line where my opponent really does a lot here, unfortunately. Because the Sandshrew, I don't think Sandshrew will kill because I don't have a Steel move. Which really helps here a lot. Yeah, my opponent's saying in the Showdown chat, it's cropped out right now, but they're saying that Magby's so good in this team. And this is where I was preaching that I think Magby is like the second best Follow Me mon on this tier. It goes kind of absurd. They got a good play there for sure there. I unfortunately caught the stray at that turn. I'm gonna go for Heat Wave because it will at least outpace the Mischievous if it's not timid. I'm just gonna go for Axel again. They're gonna go for Axel here. That's fine. It will not really kill because I got my next Fizz Dev boost too. I benefit from their Snow so much here. They first turn. No! Oh, that's awful. Oh, that's awful. This is not how this game is going. This is not how this game is going. I'm Follow Meing and I'm gonna go for I'm gonna go for Follow Me and knock on not Fake Out. Definitely not Fake Out. We're gonna go for Follow Me and knock off. Because I think 2 knockoffs just kills anyway. I wanted to get the immediate kill in case they were going for my Sneasel. But at this point in the game, I don't really care about that. Oh my god, that still does so much damage through Colbert. And beautiful. My little Magby. Even without a Violet, by the way. This is Flame Plate Magby. I just need that on the record. Like, this mod is nuts. I'm gonna go for Follow Me, and I'm gonna go for Water Spout. GG, well played. Solid. We're getting our ladder rating up. We're 3-1, by the way, for the day, for these games. We're 2-0 into the XX City teams, and we're 1-1 against Amanda's teams. Honestly, though, I can't lie. I think I got a really fucking obnoxiously good matchup here with the Magby. The only mod that did well into that was Corfish, and I had enough of a backline to where Corfish was not coming to this game. And even if Corfish did come, I still was not concerned with it. Just because the team is really good into that. Like, I didn't even need to bring Grookey for it. I feel like the team just had enough tools to where I was okay with that. Things like Mienfoo could put up decent pressure. Fletchling, even if I brought it, could put up at least some decent pressure at chipping that down into range of another Pokemon. If this was a Violet, if this was the Violet Mon over Munchlax, I might have been a bit more scared of it and needing to bring Grookey. But I knew I could always 2-tap it. So I'm not too concerned there. We're gonna take a little bit of a break from battles before we get back into more. Oh, I just realized in the chat they asked what my showdown was. I'm so sorry. Let me get the replays because that was for ladder. I want to add these to the ladder. Copy. I forgot to pull both. Let me get those. Let's see, there we go. Perfect, okay. So we're 3-1 so far, which is decent. Because this is the first time I'm doing ladder. I wanted to save it specifically for stream because I figured it could be kind of cool. We'll get in one more, like another couple games before we end off, so I'll probably try and get like 2 to 3 more. For anyone, again, reminder, we have the Discord link pinned for anyone who wants to join the Little Cup VGC Discord. It's a great community over there, wonderful people. Also, I just realized, Becca, this is the first mutual server that we have besides the Kaguya emote server. It's okay, you're throwing for content. Yeah, exactly, you're throwing for content. I want you to know, I live by throwing for content. I threw playing Genshin Impact by walking up to like everyone with Amber and headshotting from like this far apart because I wanted to do it for content. Like I am with that mindset of throwing for content, for the record. So I'm with you there. I'm with you there. I live by throwing for content. So I'm just glad to have another person doing it. I can't be the only one throwing for content here. So when we eventually roll up with the Cacnea team, like you'll know. Anyway, Shieldon, another bad Pokemon. If we had Terra, maybe this could do something, but no. I know it gets Wide Guard, but just no. That typing is so bad in this format. Burmese will all get LOL. I love Burmy. I really sincerely do. Fuck that mod though. It's not good. Combi, Puzzle Aerial Ace with, like, unironically could maybe do something. We'll give it E tier. Like, Combi unironically could maybe do something with Puzzle Aerial Ace. That's the only thing I will give it. Because, like, oh, you know what? Never mind. I'm thinking in terms of, like, actual Little Cup standards. I forgot this Mon just isn't good. Also, I forgot this thing doesn't get Aerial Ace. I forgot to stab his dueling beat. Never mind. This Mon gets Loft tier. Weasel. Weasel actually was throwing for content but not making any. No. You're throwing for other people's content, and that's still a respectable bag to chase. Weasel's decent. I actually think this Mon's a solid, like, D tier. It's pretty good offensive water type. I think if you're gonna go with the Swift Swim route, this is probably one of the better ones personally. Specifically because of the fact that I think Weasel has like an actual offensive move pool and decent mixed offenses too with that. This I would say is a lot more of a close sheet Pokemon though than like an open sheet Pokemon. I wouldn't really run Weasel. I wouldn't run Rain outside of Basculin for that matter in open sheet. But if I'm running this in close sheet, Weasel having a decent mixed offensive stats actually could do decent. How different would the tier list be if Duraludon was legal? Honestly, we haven't gotten to the Pokemon that I think get worse with Duraludon's introduction yet. I think the only one that maybe changes is maybe this isn't an S plus and it goes to S tier. I think otherwise, realistically, not much changes. But there are a lot of Pokemon that like are in the later regions that I do think actually get very badly impacted by Duraludon being in the tier. Things like I think Grookey actually gets hurt a lot by that. But there's not a lot. There's so much fighting types as SX City was just saying. Like Hisui Sneasel for one. We also have Cubfu, Mienfoo coming through later on. We have Meditite as well. Like even Meditite just in the B tier. We have Galar Farfetch'd in the B tier. We have Mankey even in the C tier as a decent option. Like fighting is one of the best offensive typings in the tier. And even despite the fact these are all physical fighting types, Duraludon still gets 2 KO'd by like all of them. And you can definitely tailor a team to a way where Duraludon can get pressured pretty easily. It would maybe change the fact that you would be a lot more reliant on like Helping Hand or Choice Banded items on these fighting types. But otherwise, I think that the format wouldn't change a lot. At least for the Pokemon we've went over right now. Like, I don't think any of them really go down in usage. Because even the ones that are weak to Duraludon, I think realistically, their support is so crucial to the Pokemon that are not weak to it. Things like for example, Fail could be a decent way to help these fighting types taking hits. So I don't think it really changes a lot, personally. At least for what we've went over right now. Cherubi, okay, Cherubi unfortunately does not get Flower Gift. That would be the one thing that I think could maybe have put it in a higher tier. If this thing had a Flower Gift, we could maybe see D tier Cherubi. And I say that as someone who loves Cherubi. Cherubi is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. I literally just at NISE bought a Cherubi plush. Like I like this mon a lot. Unfortunately though, unlike my chat, I know how to put a bad Pokemon in a bad tier. I'm calling it like I see it. Cherubi gets an F tier. Unlike my chat. Shellos. Okay, chat. We're gonna do a poll. First poll of the stream. I forget how to, I think I need to do, I forget if is it vote? Is it vote? Oh my goodness. I might need to add Nightbot. I need to add Nightbot. Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay. All right. Type 1 if you want pink Shellos. Type 2 if you want blue Shellos. I'm giving it until 2:03 p.m. EST. So it's like a minute and a half probably. I'll have to add Nightbot for a future stream. For now, Becca, you're gonna be in charge of counting the votes. Everyone say hi to Honorary Nightbot. Shoutouts to our mod Becca. Becca does a great job. Becca, because you're running the votes, I'll count your vote as 2 if it breaks a tie. So if it breaks a tie, your vote will be the tiebreaker. We have 2 for 1 so far. Again, we'll give it a little bit longer just so people can make sure people heard. We're 1 into 2 right now. Okay. Not bad, not bad. I still need to make my LC team. No, understandable. Listen, Becca, you have like another 40 minutes before I'll be taking that last call game. So, you got time, We'll probably get through... I think we'll probably end off doing Unova for the tier list side of things. Because Unova is a lot of LC Pokemon. And then we'll probably just continue this on Monday. I might go a little longer, but I have a lot of content to record before next Friday where I'm getting my tooth pulled. So I would like to probably pause after Unova. Because I still need to get Becca some shorts that are going up on Sunday. So, I'll probably do that. We have a few more seconds before I'm going to close off the poll right now. It is currently tied 2-2. So, because it is tied, the pink Shellos will win because Becca gets the tiebreak. But again, we'll give it a little bit longer before I close off that voting. And then that will be the Shellos that gets immortalized on this tier list for forever, really, because this will go in the server once we're done with it on Monday. So that should be decent. But doing Sunday now? No, yeah, I told you I'm gonna have stuff by the end of the day today. The first short will go up on Sunday. I think. I mean, if you want to do tomorrow, I'm not gonna stop you. The first thing I'm doing, I need to update my Switch afterwards and finish up some stuff on that for Kurt. But afterwards, you're like the second thing I'm doing. So I'll probably be getting you your next shorts by like 5 EST. So if you want to get a Saturday short up, like I won't complain about that at all. I just figured I've been rushing you, so I don't want to like make you feel rushed. And also it looks literally right on the buzzer. Blue Shellos gets the win. Okay, then I'll go for that. Blue Shellos gets an E tier. I think it's the worst Storm Train mon for the best water type in the tier, being Basculin. Then like a Lileep would be. I don't think Shellos really is as needed because unlike in Standard where Cradily just has such a bad matchup type-wise, I think it's a lot more mitigated in a format like this. Actually, to be fair, no, it is still really weak to fighting. I can give Shellos a D tier. I'm willing to give Shellos a D. It's also good at taking advantage of rain, so I'll take that. Drift, let me also just drag this down so I don't think I forgot Shellos. Chat 1 blue. Also, let me turn this down before the bridge hits because that will go very loud very quickly. Let's see, so Drifloon. Drifloon's kind of cool with Unburden. I'm willing to give this thing like a D tier. It's a cool Tailwind mon. Having also Tailwind and an immunity built in to Fake Out is pretty cool. I just think that Drifloon realistically, like, once it's done with utility, Drifloon doesn't really do a lot. Like Murkrow would still punish a team beyond that, but 60 special attack isn't really the best. It's not letting you open it from YouTube. I got you. Let me paste that link to you real quick. If you're in my Discord, I can just tag you with it. Yeah, so it is pinned comment as well. But at the same time, I'm gonna assume that just YouTube in general is being a bit weird. Let me see. I got you. Okay. Baneri, unfortunately, unironically, I actually think this might be worse Skitty. Because I think at least normalized, like, you know, just leaning into the very heavy fake out damage actually is kind of a thing. This thing really is just healing, wishing, like, slight coverage, but Baneri's offenses are just, they're just not that good, guys. Unfortunately, Baneri, I mean, 66-85 isn't terrible in a format where, like, things like APOM are restricted. If APOM was restricted, I think Baneri actually could maybe have a case as, like, a D tier. Unfortunately, it is, and even still, I don't even think that's the case, because we're gonna have a normal type on Monday's portion of the tiering that is exponentially better. I think it's even better than APOM, personally. So, yeah, no, Baneri, unfortunately. Glameow, I think Glameow at least is, like, some more priority. Like Glameow at least, I mean, it's weaker than Baneri, but, like, stuff like Foul Play and Sucker Punch is kind of cool on it. I'm willing to at least, and also, like, Limber is a pretty good ability, actually. Or even, like, Own Tempo. Like, I think a minimum Glameow can get eats here, and we'll call it at that. Chingling, no. Stunky, what content utility does this actually get? Because that might actually be not terrible. I mean, Sedge is not terrible on this. Memento's kind of cool. Haze is not terrible. I'm willing to give this like an E tier. Where's Golet? We're currently not through the Unova portion. Also, welcome Zeke. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Welcome to the very first stream on this channel. I have to specify because we're moving streams over here. But Bronzor is a solid D tier. I'm willing to give this Pokemon a D tier. I think Levitate plus Trick Room is really decent alone, and I think this thing having such unique typing from the other Levitate Pokemon is decent. Also, just being a Steel. Again, we don't have a lot of Steel types. It might just be... I mean, I know that Becca joined at least, so I know it can't be that. So unless they deleted the invite link... Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. I'll look into that for you. It'll have to be after the stream, but I'll take a look at and I'll let you know. But yeah, so Levitate Steel type alone is really good. And again, just the fact we don't have a lot of good Steels. Like there really are not many. So that's a decent niche for Bronzor alone, just being a Steel type. Bonsly sucks. Mime Jr. I was talking about this earlier, actually, before we even started the tier list. I'm actually high on Mime Jr. I think his mod is actually kind of decent. For anyone who doesn't know, because I'm assuming that most people have never thought to look at Mime Jr. stat-wise. But like 70 special attack and 60 speed is not terrible. Psychic Fairy is also like a really good dual stab combination in this format. Being a 4x resistant to fighting types, on top of the fact that it is also really good coverage wise. It has some decent abilities too, like Filter and Technician are both decent. Like Tech Fake Out is always good. You get stuff like Technician plus, I think it gets Icy Wind on here. Yeah, like Technician and Icy Wind is decent. I think you also get Draining Kiss too, which is decent. No, you don't get Draining Kiss, that's unfortunate. But even still, like, this thing gets some good coverage. Like, Fairy, Electrics, Grass as typing is just all really good. You get Signal Beam, which is not terrible. So I think realistically, yeah, I super heavily fall in favor of using Mime Jr. I think this thing is kind of decent. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, no, moving streams. Listen. I will say I did forget to mod you. I completely forgot because I only had modded the I'd only modded the editors before this, so you are now a moderator as well. Have fun. Anyway, Happini, no, this mon sucks. Gibble, no, this mon sucks. Munchlax is decent. Munchlax is definitely gonna be a solid C tier. This is just Lickitung, but if it had like good toolkit, decent Belly Drum mon. I think as we saw in the games, unfortunately it didn't get shown off, but the potential to be like a Belly Drum mon on a Veil team like that could have been really decent. I super heavily go with this mon. I think the only thing is that I think we have better normal types that just naturally output higher damage without needing the setup turn, which is a big deal. Like Tandem Mouse. Real is decent. I actually do like this mon a lot as a good follow me user. This is a solid B tier. Prankster will never be a bad ability. I think anything with Prankster has some semblance of a niche, especially if you have weather. Really also stuff like Copycat, which is kind of cool. Like I would definitely say Riolu has a place in the format. It's just kind of clunky. and underexplored. But I think there's enough of a toolkit there to where this mon could be decent. We're gonna go to Hippopotas. Only Sand Setter in the format. This gets a D tier at least. Sand is just not great, but it can enable Dribbler potentially. Scorpy, no. Krogunk is cool. I like Krogunk actually. This is another cool fighting type that's in this format. Having Dry Skin alone is kind of cool, and you get like Fake Out, Vacuum Wave, Upper Hand, Sucker Punch. Like this gets a lot of priority, and the Dual Stab is decent, as we see with Sweet Sneasel. Poison Fighting can get you a lot in this format, so I'll give Krogunk a C tier. Finneon. I vibe with Finneon. Water type with Storm Train and Tailwind. This is a Basculin check right here. We have Mantike. Mantike, I am huge on Mantike actually. I saw that on the sample team that I pulled earlier and I geeked. This mon is super good actually. Really good Wide Guard Tailwind mon. I think it's one of the only Pokemon in the game that gets that combination of moves. Let me double check that actually. Yeah, so for context, it is the only Pokemon in this tier that gets it. And there are like 1, 2, 3, oh sorry, Wingull also gets it. 4, 5, 6, 7 evolution lines that get it. And one of those is Lunala. There are not a lot of Pokemon that get it. Wingull is the only other Pokemon that gets Wide Guard and Tailwind though, but having Water Absorb is a huge leg up here. Also just is a lot bulkier. Like this is a really good special wall. I would borderline even be willing to put this in the A tier. Actually, I would be willing to put this in the A tier. It's definitely a better Wide Guard option than Paris, for example. Though Paris' Spore is kind of crazy. Can I explain Bellsprout? Yeah, not a problem. It's just worse Bulbasaur. Essentially, if we look at Bellsprout versus if we look at Bellsprout, which has like base 40 speed, its offenses are slightly better, but Bulbasaur would mostly be used because it is slightly faster and it gets Sleep Powder. Well, obviously I think Weep Melt and like that whole line also gets Sleep Powder, but it's just a faster Sleep Powder mon and it can just do the same work. Now that Bulbasaur gets Weather Ball in its moveset, that's no longer a niche that Bellsprout has over it. So it's just worse Bulbasaur. The niche there would be Sucker Punch. That's the only niche it really gets though, and then it can do physical stuff to be fair. Like Clear Amulet physical could maybe be a set on this. But that's why you'd run it over Bulbasaur. Snover's a decent snow setter actually. I would say Snover gets like a C tier. Grass Ice is a good typing in this format. It's decent check to like Basculin and other offensive water types like Clamperl. I think the biggest thing that holds it back from going higher than C though is the fact that I think Alone Vulpix is just better. Like it's just faster Veil setter. I think unless you're going for like underslowing weather, which isn't really that common anyway, you don't really need Snover. But it's not bad. It's not bad. Now we're on to Gen 5 though officially, because the last like half of Gen 4 is all non-evolved Pokemon. Starting off with Snivy. Snivy's pretty cool. We're gonna end off with Gen 5 by the way for the tier list, and we'll continue on Monday. But with Snivy, we have a pretty decent option here as like a defensive grass type. I'm willing to give it a D tier. Leaf Storm, it does get Hidden Power back. I still need to ask if Hidden Power is banned in this format, because that actually will impact our Snivy rating for sure. Let me ask. I'm sure someone's looked it up by now. If any of the staff are in chat, okay, I'm seeing them already talking about Hidden Power. Yeah, Hidden Power is legal. I'm willing to give this thing a C tier. Hidden Power plus Leaf Storm alone is decent, and this could be a decent snowball win con. Having Glare as well can never be slept on, especially when the format is so fast. Things like Sneasels are really good, Scyther's really good. All these mons do hate going for Glare, unfortunately. I think if Snivy had Terra, this could honestly be like an A tier, because something like a defensive Terra Water could be really good on this. Unfortunately, it does not though. We'll give it C tier. Also, if we didn't have the restricteds, that could maybe be like an A tier or even an S tier potentially. But we have the restricted, so. Tepig. Tepig is not good. Oshawott isn't either. Neither is Patrat. Lillipup does not get Sandrush, so it kind of sucks. Purloin. Purloin. Is this a draft? No, this is just a tier list. We're just tiering. It's a Little Cup VGC, just National Dex format. So it's a new fan format that I'm helping with. Essentially, it's just like VGC Series G, but we have like literally. Essentially, it is these Pokemon are restricted right here. And anything else, you can throw as many of on the team as you want. The only bans are Duraludon and Titanol, because it is a fan format, so we can do bans. But yeah. And you get one of these per team. This is the tier list that the staff made. I don't agree with every pick on it, but I agree with a lot of it. I think, like, for example, this Sneasel is definitely better than Murkrow just as a Pokemon. Sneasel's pressure on the tier is so obnoxiously felt. Also, I think this is another S tier. Until Duraludon enters the format, then it can drop. Monkeys, these three all are really bad. Mana is really bad. Pidove is really bad. Blitzel has some decent immunities. That's kind of cool. We'll give it like an E tier. Mon otherwise sucks. This sucks. Woobat. I mean, would Woobat be usable in a doubles format? Let me look at the move pool. I don't think so. I feel like this is just a really bad not to, because you can't viably get it set up, I don't think. What are the psychic terrain users? Because you could maybe make Expanding Force work on a Pokemon like this. Let me see. I'm scrolling through. Let's see. Okay, so the manual psychic terrain. We have Girafarig. We have Spoink, Drowsy, Slowpokes, Abra. Abra could maybe do it, but they're all psychic types is the issue. Every single one of these, besides Fennekin. Fennekin is not a psychic type, but Fennekin's just really bad. I don't really think you want to be running it. I don't think there's any prankster Pokemon still that get that move, unfortunately. It's just Meowstic. Yeah, okay, so nothing in this format. What about speed? What's the fastest psychic terrain user? I think it's Abra. It is... Yeah, it's Abra. Okay, base 90 is still kind of slow to be setting that. Is this meta currently? Yeah, so people, it's an unofficial metagame. People do play. The Discord server pinned is a great way to find battles. Especially like if you're more like after 5 o'clock EST, you can find a lot of battles in there. I got pinged I think like 30 times yesterday for battles. There are roles to be notified for it. They have their own unofficial ladder set up in the server. In the format, for context, the server went live like a couple days ago, and there are already a lot of battles going on in there. I think there's like 7 people on the ladder. There's a lot of people testing teams because it is so early on. And considering that I got approached actually on my Little Cup VGC video I made for Paldea Dex, I wanted to help out with promoting it. So we're currently making the tier list for the National Dex version of this. They do ban Terra. It's Terra banned, Duraludon and Nuller banned. They have their restricted. Everything else is fair game. So if you're interested in that, I highly recommend checking the link either in the description or in the pinned comment. Those are both great ways to join, and I could not recommend it enough. Woobat, unfortunately though, there's no good psychic terrain users, so F tier. Drillbur's kind of okay. No, you're good. Honestly, like the pin, it's kind of subtle. I wish YouTube made it a bit more clear. You know, maybe didn't put it in like white and instead maybe put it in like gold with like white text over my name or something. I don't know. Jury's out on how that should be handled, but Drillbur's okay. Sand's just not in a great place. I don't think weather in general is though. Timber's okay as well. Timber's just kind of like a good fighting type stat wise, but it doesn't have like actual utility to it. It's just a good Pokemon. We're gonna put it in D tier. I think there's a lot of better fighting types that just actual niches to them. Timpole, I doubt this mon is getting a, yeah, Timpole just not good. So Waddle is just not good. Venipede, not good. Cottony, okay. So this is Paldea Dex. Cottony would be like a C tier. However, this is not Paldea Dex. This mon gets Tailwind back in this move pool. This thing is fucking absurd. I personally am very high on Cottony. I would actually say this is like the best S tier we're gonna get today. I think it's pretty comparable to Murkrow. The issue being though is that Murkrow has an immunity to a lot of bullshit from other prankster Pokemon. Cottony does not. If Terra was allowed, I think Cottony could be an S+, because I could get things like Terra Ghost for Fake Out immunity and not need the Covert Cloak as much. Or can go for Terra Dark and get a nice Prankster immunity and not care about that. Unfortunately, though, this is very susceptible to Prankster Taunt. This is not. Other than that, though, Cottony is a solid Pokemon. It enables a lot of different strategies. Like, we played with a beat-up team earlier today with Justified Growlithe. There's just decent utility in, like, Encore and Tailwind alone. This mon is really fucking good. I think Murkrow is just objectively better. But otherwise, though, like, Cottony is still such a good utility mon. Sleeping on Venipede, I disagree. I think I'm actually very awake right now. I'm drinking caffeine, so disagree with that. Try again in, like, 12 hours. If this was, like, singles, you could maybe put in, like, an E tier for Venipede, but yeah. Petalil, no, we have better chlorophyll mons. Basculin, okay, I'm huge on this mon. I know a lot of the staff are not. I'm huge on this mon. I think in a format where we don't have to worry about, like, random Terra, I think Basculin does unfortunately get worse, for sure. I still, actually, looking at the tiers, maybe yeah, they don't really actually sleep on as much as I thought. I still think this is one of the best water types in the tier, though. Maybe the best water type in the tier. This thing is really, really good. Choice band sets alone are really valuable. They're great on Rain, and this is the sole reason I think Rain has a place in the format. But even outside of that, though, safety goggle sets on like balanced teams or like just Tailwind offense in general without weather is really good. and it can get around things like Fungus really well with Sneaky Goggles and just not care. This does get adaptability, I believe. I think it gets adaptability. I know there's a form that like misses out on certain abilities. Yeah, this still gets adaptability. It's Rock Head and Rattle that it misses out on, but it gets Reckless too. So you have not only like Reckless and adaptability as good abilities, but you also just have like, oh, this is, nope. Asking what? No, this gets rattled actually. I'm missing out on Reckless. But even still, again, like adaptability is still really good. And you get like Aqua Jet, Wave Crash, Head Smash, and like Lash Respects as good options, and also Ice Fang, yeah. Yeah, it's only White Stripe. The other forms are banned because they cannot evolve, but White Stripe is legal because it evolves into both Basket Legions. So this mod is cracked. I think personally this is one of the better Pokemon. If they allowed Terra, this would be my S+ for sure, because I think Terra Water would be a great way to help the Goggle sets with dealing a lot of damage and keeping up with that. Unfortunately, though, it does not. And I do think Terra Water is pretty important to this Pokemon's identity, or even like Terra Ghost Lash Respects. However, it's still a good option. I still think it's a really respectable offensive Pokemon. It's still one of the best. But also just being restricted does hurt it a bit. If this was like free-for-all, you know, you could just pick whatever from this tier, this would also still be an S+. Because it's just that good. But with being your team's only option, like you can't partner this with Murkrow or Cottony, definitely does hurt a bit because your best partner for Tailwind is like Fletchling, which is a good Pokemon. It's not good enough to justify this thing being like an S+ is all. Sandile is cool with Intimidate. Unfortunately though, outside of its typing and Intimidate, this isn't the best. We'll give it a D tier. Darumaka, just because of Hustle, we'll put both of these in like the E tier. They're kind of okay with Hustle, but actually let me double check because I know it's either Hustle or Sheer Force these get. I forget which it is. They actually get Hustle and Inner Focus. Oh, actually Inner Focus can be kind of cool on like 90 offense Pokemon. I'm gonna put these in D tier. They have decent move pool to them too. And Inner Focus is kind of decent on these. Yeah, we'll give them D tier. These could be cool on Trick Room. Dwebble, unfortunately, no. Scraggy is decent. It's a decent offensive fighting type. It is weak to other fighting types though, which kind of hurts, but it does get Intimidate. It gets a lot of good utility. This thing definitely has some merit to it. I'll give it a C tier. No good fairies in the format. Well, not a lot of good fairies, I should say. Yamask's both suck. I think at minimum at least this one can get an E tier just because Mummy at least is contagious and the other one just swaps. Tortugas sucks. Arshin, I've seen some experimentation with Arshin. I actually kind of vibe with it. Unfortunately, it's still not great, but Rock Flying as a dual stab is really obnoxious in a tier where there are not a lot of good ground and steel types. So this mon can hang on by a thread at least. It's decently offensive. It hits harder than most restricted. It's just not the fastest. Trubbish sucks. I think the Zoras technically get E tier by nature of their typing. I don't think that really either deserve a much higher place, just because it at least like, I mean, this typing is really good. I'm actually willing to give this a D tier. Just because there are not a lot of good dark types we have later on. I mean, for dark types we have like these two, and that's about it. Well, I guess Quillfish too. That's about it. Let's see. Minchino. Minchino would actually be. I think Minchino's an E tier. This could honestly be like an A tier if it wasn't for the fact that Tandemaus exists. But we'll get into Tandemaus. Tandemaus is an unfair Pokemon. Fuck that Pokemon. Again, we'll get into Tandemaus later on. I think that mon is insane in a tier like this. Gothita is cool. Fake Out and Trapping is okay. It's unfortunately just so frail. I can't give it higher than like a D tier. The kit it does provide is really good to certain teams, but it is such a specific kit that most teams don't care about it. But the teams that do care about it run with it. Solosis is cool. I actually did forget this on my Paldea tier list, but this mon kind of goes hard. Magic Guard Life Orb on Trick Room could be really decent actually, and the speed tier of like 20 is decent for offensive Psychic. This thing also gets like 105 special attacks. It's like average special attack, but on Trick Room. And you still get Overcoat too, as a Trick Room setter that's immune to Spore. So I'm willing to actually give this thing like a D tier. I think this thing could kind of cook. Ducklet, no. This thing could be okay if it got Snow Warning. It does not though. The Deerlings, chat, what Deerling are we using actually? I will use whatever Deerling. 1, this is a 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me know down below. In the meantime, we have a couple more other Pokemon to tier. I'll continue with like F tiers really quickly. Does Carbos get like actual offensive moves, or is it just like dual stabs don't, or like just stabs don't really benefit? Yeah, it's just stabs don't really give it. Does like no steel. This is F tier. We have one for summer, one for winter. I'm just gonna skim through. Wait, we have 2, 2, and 4. Okay. Joltik, yeah, Joltik's another F tier. Actually, Joltik, yeah, Joltik can get like an E tier. We'll do these like low tiers real quick that don't really have much to talk about while we're waiting before I need to scroll up to like really convo intensive. I'll give it like another, we'll give it a 25. Rebecca Noseball. We have, okay, yeah, we're seeing dominant for 2. Okay, we'll go with summer. 2 is so dominant, and I have like a mod that would win a tiebreak anyway. I can't imagine that unless we get like rated, that's not changing. Okay. Anyway, Fungus. Fungus is an awesome Pokemon. Holy shit, this mod is amazing. Fungus is the best redirection in this format. I do need that very clearly written out. Fungus is fucking great. This thing having just such a good typing and Spore is really good. Think of Amoonguss, but just in Little Cup. And it's not a restricted either, which is great over Tangela. That's why I think Tangela is like objectively just a worse tier than this Pokemon, because Fungus does not use a restricted space. And it also gets Spore, which is really good. Fungus, unfortunately, though, does not have the best stats in this format. Like, I mean, 69, 45, 55 isn't terrible. It's like slow on a like Squirtle good. But I think the typing is a lot better, and also having Spore is such a good thing. I'm not willing to give Fungus an S+, considering Sneasel just exists in that tier. And we have a lot of good flying types, but if Terra was allowed, Fungus would be an S+. I can confidently say that right now, Fungus would be an S+, despite the fact there'd be a lot more Terra Grass. Fungus itself gets so much better with Terra that I don't think it would matter, and it would warp the metagame around it. Male or female Frillish, by the way. One for, well, actually, no, we're gonna go with female Frillish because I'm sexist over here. Not actually, but just, you know, happy June, guys. So we're gonna go with female Frillish because I like female Frillish. I also need to hard set my Frillish to female because I never actually did that on this team. I think it's kind of homophobic of me to not do that. But yeah, so we're gonna put Frillish. I actually rate Frillish very highly. I think Frillish is an incredible Pokemon, and I know it gets used. I've actually seen Frillish used on a lot of teams. I don't think Frillish gets used enough, though. I think Frillish is actually like an A tier pick. This thing is incredible as a Scarf option on Tailwind. We saw Life Orb earlier as well on another Murkrow Tailwind team. This thing is really good on Trick Room too. Base 40 speed on Trick Room with like Water Spout is nothing to scoff at. This thing, if you throw it next to a good Pollen Buff Pokemon, has some really good sustain. Like Fungus and Frillish could be a really decent core. You have a decent dual stab in Water Ghost. You also avoid Fake Out, which is really valuable again when you have a Water Spout as your primary Water Stab. This mon is insane. Has an immunity to itself as well for that matchup. I think Frillish is a really good pick. Among the A tiers, this is one of the best, if not the very best. I would personally say it's the very best, but I'm also very biased. Yeah, banning in Prime Month, it's such. But yeah, no, I think Frillish is like one of the best. It's borderline an S tier in my opinion. And I know that there are people who also do fuck with this mon in that server. I know Frillish is a decently used mon. I think even still that I probably rate it the highest. I cannot imagine that people rate Frillish higher than I do. I do think that this mon is really insane. And if it wasn't for the fact that I think that Squirtle is a little bit more splashable as a water type, and Basculin is just a lot more like long-term potent, Frillish could be an actual S tier. Maybe Basculin didn't exist as just an objectively better pure water typing, then maybe Frillish could be an S tier. But the Fake Out immunity is really nice. Like this mon is actually, this mon does some decent work to this tier. It really fucks up Little Cup VGC. Water Spout is also just so good. Ferroseed. Homophobic Ferroseed did not survive June. Unfortunately, this mon actually really is not good. I cannot imagine a world where this Pokemon will be good. Because there are a lot better grasses. There are a lot better grasses, and there are a lot better steels too. Also, there's just some decent fire types that can heat wave through it. I don't think it has a place. Clink sucks. Dynamo sucks. Elgium. Elgium might go a bit higher. I don't think it's like analytic. Nah, this just doesn't hold up, unfortunately. Not great move pool. Yeah, this mon sucks. Litwick, no. Axew, no. Cubchoo. Cubchoo is kind of cool, actually. I give Cubchoo a D tier. This is a cool, like, snow abuser. But, like, Sandshrew is just objectively better, realistically, just because it's... Like, if we look into Slush Rush options, right? As far as Slush Rush Pokemon go, Sandshrew is the same speed tier, but it has an actual dual stab, and that dual stab is decent as far as, like, handling opposing ice types. On top of that as well, having just a better coverage with things like Stomping Tantrum on this. Actually it doesn't get Stomping Tantrum, I thought it did. I mean, even still, like you get a lot better options like triple axle on that, whereas Cubchoo just not terrible. I just think that realistically, like your best option for multi-hit ice is Icicle Spear, for example. You don't get triple axle. You get some decent options like Rock Slide too, but it's just not as good. SSS Gold incoming. No, I've been giving the friend picks only E tier. Sorry, Zeke. Just to try. Actually, no, we're not doing that. Shelmet. Again, unlike my chat, I can put my shit Pokemon in F tier. I know how to do it. Shelmet, I love Shelmet. Shelmet, way like 2 channels ago, iconic Pokemon. Shelmet will live on in infamy in my heart. One of my favorite Pokemon of all time. F tier. Because again, unlike my chat, I know how to tier it right. Mienfoo is an easy S+. This mod is fucking nuts. It's in my opinion, I think this is actually the best non-restricted in the tier. For sure. It's not even close. I would actually go as far to say this is probably more potent than like base Sneasel. Just because fighting typing is so good. I think that Murkrow and Hisui Sneasel hold like so much over it. But having Inner Focus again is already really good. Great Fake Out Mon, great coaching support, good pivot. I'm shocked we haven't seen Regen, but I think realistically that's more of a... We'll see it once we realize Intimidate just isn't as potent as it seems like in the format. This mod is absurd. It is such a great enabler. I think it's like the best enabler in the tier personally for a non-restricted. Oh my god, I don't like my tries. You guys are toxic. You guys are toxic. But yeah, no, absurd Pokemon. Easily, I think the best non-restricted. I don't think there's a close second. We have Golett. I'm being held at gunpoint by my 2-year member. So no, my god, E tier. Actually, Golett might go up to D tier unironically. This mon could be a decent. I just need to double check actually if this thing gets Poltergeist, because that could be decent. It does get Poltergeist. Actually, Poltergeist with no guard is actually kind of cool. I think this mon can maybe. I just need to verify it has a single target good ground move, and this could get like a D tier. Ground. Sloppy Tantrum. Yeah, okay. This actually gets a viable ground move. Yeah, we'll put Golett in D tier. Actually, I can get behind Golett. This thing has decent Trick Room stats. Typing immune to Fake Out too is pretty good. No guard with Poltergeist is pretty valuable. Yeah, Golett can get a D tier. Might even be able to go to C tier, but I think realistically being weak to Sneasel is not a good trait that I fuck with, as well as the fact there are a lot of Pokemon that are slower than Trick Room that maul it. Howdy, Fluffy. If you ask for my wallet, I'm banning you. But Pawniard. Okay, Pawniard's another really good one. Pawniard, I know, I feel like a lot of people have mixed feelings on Pawniard in this format and as to whether it will be really good or really bad. I'm still undecided. I think Pawniard is an A tier for sure, though. There are so many good fighting types that put up really good pressure into this. If this had Terra, this is another Pokemon that could probably be like an S tier or maybe even an S+. But it kind of does need Terra to really thrive in a format where like Mienfoo, Hisui Sneasel, Cubfu, Mankey, Galar Farfetch, Meditite, etc. are all like really good options. It's still really decent though. Top at D tier. I am not sorting any tiers that are not. Otherwise, it's just deck sorter. But you can think it's top at D tier. I won't fight you on that. I think unironically it's a decent option this tier. I think if we're looking at like actual D tier picks, right? As far as Pokemon, I would say that are definitively better. I think Makuhita is definitively better. I think Purloin is definitively better. I think Growl is definitively better. I think the rest though, like it's high on the list for sure. I would unironically say. There's not a lot in this tier. I think Wingull also might have a case, but not having Drizzle sucks for it. No, Becca, shut up. We're not opening up my wallet. I still need to buy a new wallet. Rufflet. Rufflet's kind of cool. Hustle and Airlace will never not be cool. This thing can get C tier. It's just a clunky, like, high damage Pokemon. No, Fluffy, don't open that. Don't open that up. Bullaby. Bullaby's kind of cool. Bulky Tailwind unfortunately, it's not Murkrow. D tier. We have Dano. Hustle, but it's really not. It doesn't... Yeah, no, Dano's just not great. Arvesta, no. And that's actually it. Okay, we'd actually probably go a bit further. Let me ping for another battle really quickly. Because I did say I want to do another battle. While I'm waiting for that ping, I have tagged the roll. So I'll give it a little bit while I continue doing tier list. If anyone wants to battle who's in the chat, just join the Discord. There's a command to copy paste for the rule set. Oh, okay. Becca, I'll challenge you Or you could just challenge. There's the open team sheet code. I'll actually, yeah, just check the pin, Becca. And then copy the /challenge for the open team sheet code, and then just challenge me with that. Or Becca, if you just tell me what showdown. No, you're not banned. I said if you asked me for my wallet, I would ban you though. Let's see. Friends, I know I have, yeah, I just had to go showdown. Let me challenge you. There we go. Okay. VGC, yeah. There we go. Yeah, just as long as your format, as long as your team goes for that. And then we'll do this. This should be fun. Chessspin sucks. If it had the fighting type in action, kind of cool. These all suck. These all suck. Fletchling, finally a good Pokemon. Fletchling's actually decent. I think Fletchling is the best non-restricted Tailwind mon in the tier. Mantag is a decent option too, to be fair, but I think Fletchling, just having priority with Gale Wings is decent, and like Quick Attack and Brave Bird is really good. I'd be willing to give Fletchling an A tier for sure. We're gonna switch over to the showdown window though, as Becca has now caught on. Good luck, have fun. Banded Sneasel, okay. Becca, I do need to point out, you do get knockoff on Sneasel in this, as well as triple Axel. I can get not wanting to run Axel, to be fair. Crash is at least a little less gimmicky. Well, not gimmicky, a little less volatile. I like the synchronized Natu. What do I want match up? Becca, I'll have to help you refine this later. This is a cool team though. I fuck with the team, especially because you ran Chimchar, so I have to say only nice things about the team. So you suck for that. Literally the worst. We're gonna go with Fletchling Sneasel. We're gonna go with Creaky Maggie. Not Creaky Maggie, Foolish Maggie. I know she has Sun, but I still do kind of like it. Chimchar Natu. Okay, so that's Fake Out incoming right here. Fake Out and Tailwind. Ooh, actually that could be Trick Room. Trick Room could do kind of decent instead of Tailwind. I might actually need to freshen the Natu. I'm gonna Fake Out the Natu and I'm gonna go for Brave Bird into it. I don't really care if I get Fake Outed, because it won't really matter. Sneasel can't get Fake Outed, and Fletchling has Gale Wings. Oh, you forgot to change sync. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I thought Unova was last. Yeah, but I was gonna go till 3, and 3 o'clock did not come yet. I thought we'd take longer at the tailends, to be honest. So that was all it was. We'll just go till 3. But we might end like mid-gen because of that. Oh, right, let me turn off timer. I'm so sorry, Becca. I forgot to turn off timer. Okay. So yeah, we'll target the Natu though, because that Trick Room could be kind of filthy. And I really can't risk that one. Because Natu's just that terrifying. They're gonna go for Protect, and okay. Ooh, don't go for Rock Slide, don't go for Rock Slide. Okay, thank God. Wisp isn't great, but I'm much more appreciative to Wisp. We'll go for Triple Axel here, and then I'm gonna go for the... I can actually just Taunt. Taunt actually is kind of a play. I'm just gonna go for Axel, and I'm gonna go for Brave Bird into Chimchar. Morlul, okay, perfect, Morlul's dead. Bye-bye, Morlul. Hope you had fun. Natu should still die, because thankfully... Oh my god, okay, Natu survived. Oh shit, maybe I should have, yeah, maybe I should have tossed that. Okay, that actually kind of hurts. Slowpoke. Ooh. Well, thankfully there's no Sun, but, like, Psyshock does a decent bit to my team. The issue being is I don't think that they can kill Sneasel, which is great. We'll go for Knockoff, and I'm gonna go for Quick Attack and then Natu, just do some decent damage. We set Scholar and brought about some more time to fill. Honestly, we could. I don't know if I want to, but we technically, by definition, could. We're gonna knock off the Sneasel. Oh my, that did nothing. Okay. That burn might actually hurt a lot. That burn might like really hurt a lot here. My goodness. I'm gonna go for Axel Quick Attack. I need that Natu dead. I need that Natu like dead before I can win this game. If I get it killed though, I can go into Magby and kind of stall through Trick Room until I win with Frillish, and that can do some decent work. But yeah, no, not the best position to be in, I can't lie. Slash Shock could kill Fletchling, but that's kind of okay. 2, 4, 5. Okay, wow, that does like nothing. Thankfully, I can't swap though, because I already killed the other 2 Pokemon. I need to go to the Magby though. We'll go for knockoff into Chimchar, so I can get rid of that custom berry, which could actually prove to be annoying with Rock Slide, weakening my spouts. And then we'll go for Protect here, because I do need to not die. Okay. They're gonna go for Protect, that's fine. I just wanted to knock off the Chimchar anyway. Ooh, we're gonna get Rock Slide. Okay, that kind of hurts. We also run on Sand Team and nuke the Snow Teams with Weather Ball, Trust. Understandable. Honestly, I can get behind that. Okay, so... So Rock Slide actually will be kind of deadly here. Might need to go for double. I'm gonna go for Shadow Ball into Frillish, trying to Slowpoke. Then I think I'm just gonna go for... I'm just gonna go for Follow Me, just so I can draw in the Slowpoke hit. I don't really want to take a Side Shock here. Why might Becca unironically win though? That honestly looks kind of terrifying. This specific board state actually looks like really scary. I can kill Slowpoke at least, which should be huge. The issue being though is if that Chimchar flinches me, I'm actually kind of screwed. Because it's definitely gonna go for Rock Slide, and that's not great. Side Shot goes off, yeah, okay, we can take that still. Rock Slide, yeah, Magby dies, but I can at least kill Slowpoke. Oh, you don't take a... Ooh, okay, yeah, that's exactly what I did not want to happen. On the bright side though, we're not locked in yet. I might just need to go for Water Spout. I need to hope single target Water Spout can do enough. Oh, that actually kind of sucks. Yeah. Fuck it. Nothing venture, nothing gain. Oh, that does like nothing. Oh my god, I lost. For what it's worth, I don't think I would have won if I went for Shadow Ball anyway. Yeah, no, that just doesn't do enough damage. GG, I fucking lost. Good game. My god. Well, yeah, good game, Becca. Good game. I might fuck with that. Honestly, the duel, the Tail Room Natu. You know what? Maybe I am sleeping on Natu. Maybe Tail Room Natu actually could kind of be a thing. I do think, for what it's worth, maybe the moveset could be worked on, but Tail Room Natu might not be terrible. I'm willing to give it C tier. I am willing to give it C tier. That is as far as I can give this mon. No, just best of one. I mean, we could do best of three. I've done best of three with everyone today. But I am gonna pull up a different team though. Just because. Becca, how does it feel that you're undefeated on the ladder right now, though? You are currently 1-0. You have a 100% win rate on the ladder right now. Oh, hold on, wait. 1 second. Let me change. I want to use the other team real quick. Never dissync Natu? No, I'm absolutely gonna dissync Natu still. That was so fucking stupid. I love you, Becca, but that was objectively a misclick there. The team's kind of cool though. I can't lie. I didn't expect to get thrashed like that by this team. Feels terrible. No, I don't know what you're talking about, Becca. You're 100% on the ladder right now. You don't need to feel terrible. Scatterbug gets an E tier because of Friend Guard, by the way. We'll continue to while we're waiting for Becca. Litleo still sucks. Flabebe. Flabebe as a pure fairy type alone is okay. We don't have a lot of fairies. Skiddo sucks. Pancham unfortunately sucks. If this is fighting dark, it could be cool. Esper sucks. And then Honedge, offensive steal with no guard is like okay, I guess. If this had Poltergeist, it'd be a lot higher. We'll give it E tier. And now we're back. Okay, so let me turn on timer. Good luck, a fuck. Let's see. Okay, so thankfully no fake out on the Sneasel, which helps a lot. Usual Pokemon came out. I feel terrible about it too, to be honest. That's right. That's right. We're gonna go for Mienfu Growler for me as my lead here, for sure. Because I can probably just go for coaching immediately. And then I'll probably go with like Cottony. I don't really need Wide Guard. There's not a good spread move outside of like Rock Slide, thankfully. I don't really benefit from Tailwind here anyway. Magnemite's not terrible here. I could get some merit out of that, especially without Axel. I think there's no good multi-hit. I think I'm gonna go with Glimmet though. I like Glimmet a lot. I fuck with this mon here. I think it could be a good late game option because Becca's team has no rock resist. Yeah. We're gonna get a win. We're gonna get a win this time. I can't go 0-2 against Becca. I'd cry. I'll cry myself to sleep if I go 0-2 against Becca. Just because she'll hold it over my head forever. Which, like, for the record, I encourage her to do so. Who am I to hire someone who I wouldn't want to hold things over my head forever? That'd be fucked up of me to like employ someone who wouldn't do that to me. Like, so I need to make sure that Becca will feel comfortable holding that over my head if she goes 2-0 against me. But like, I still hope it doesn't happen. All right, Vulpix Chimchar lead. Okay, perfect. That's why I didn't want to really lead off with Sneasel here. Not Sneasel, Cottony here, because I can't let the Cottony just die to Flare Blitz or even like Heat Wave. Plus that Vulpix utility-wise could actually be kind of a problem here. I'm gonna go for the Fake Out into the Chimchar. And then I think I'm just gonna go for a... What? Actually, no, I'm gonna go for Coaching here into the Growlithe. And then I'm gonna go for Protect. I don't really want to get, like, pressured right now by this. They're gonna Fake Out, that's fine, I'm inner focus. I don't think Becca realized what that did. Accountability is key, we stand up real boss bitch for real. Exactly. And I'm glad at least that I provide a work environment where Becca feels like that can be the case. No, yeah, I figured her brain just turned off there. She literally just said it in the chat. That's totally fair. We're gonna Coaching again, and I'm gonna go for a Crunch into Vulpix just to kill it. I need that Mon dead. I need that Vulpix dead like so quickly. I need it dead yesterday. And I think realistically, Crunch will accommodate for more switches. Because if Morlo comes in, I can kill that. The issue being, though, is if I go for close combat, I don't hit Morlo anyway, but I also don't hit Slowpoke or Natu. So I need to just Crunch. So I'm going to Coaching and Crunch. That should just be good into everything here. If that Vulpix was a Violate, I might need to go for CC for the damage. I can't fathom a world where Coaching +2 into Crunch will not kill, though. Let me make sure that I'm underpacing. Yeah, I'm underpacing. Okay, perfect. That's good. The Vulpix, the Vulpix actually could be kind of a problem, though. I just realized, because Encore could maybe be an issue. I need to go for it anyway. For what it's worth, the only thing, not the stream sniping. Yeah. Becca's not stream sniping. No, she said in the game chat, the brain turn off there. No, not the flinch. Okay, thank God Becca didn't click Encore, because Encore could have been dangerous. We're gonna go for close combat into the Chimchar, and I'm gonna go for Protect. And I'm just gonna kill the Chimchar. Perfect. Okay, sweet. Chimchar's gone. If Becca goes for Encore, okay, perfect. That's fine. That's fine. I'm perfectly okay with that. Okay. So we know that Growlithe will hit before Vulpix. That is good to know. I'm gonna close combat the Vulpix anyway. And then I'm gonna go for the Flare Blitz into Morlul, because I'm kind of scared of taking a Sludge Bomb from that thing with Specs. But I don't mind the Vulpix going for any offensive move here. And I also definitely cannot go for Crunch or close combat into that Mon, unfortunately. Okay, Nasu's coming in. That's a good switch by Becca for sure. A pretty reasonable one too, I might add, because like, kind of do need to. Oh fuck no! The one time Effect Spore fucking comes in, and that was a really good Effect Spore roll too. Fuck. Oh fuck. That's not good at all. I'm gonna go for Knockoff into Natu. And I kind of just need to, like, let my Pokemon die. That didn't even kill. Oh, fuck. That's not good. That's not good at all, actually. Because that's definitely going to go for Trick Room. Yep. Okay. That might be bad. That might, like, really be bad. Okay. I'm going to go for Protect, and I'm going to go for Meteor Beam into the Vulpix. I need the Vulpix dead before I can do anything here. Alright, thankfully Becca didn't go for Snarl. I think if she went for Snarl, I could have maybe been screwed there. Because I don't know if Meteor Beam will kill at neutral. Oh, you're fucking with me. Okay, we'll go for Giga Drain. We'll go for Power Gem. I just need to hope. I need to really hope. Oh my god, we took the hit. I'm shocked. I'm actually really shocked. Nightshade's gonna go off. I just need Power Gem to kill. Thank god. Okay, that kills. Alright. Giga Drain can probably pick this off. And then we'll go for Power Gem as well. Okay, thank god. Thank god. That almost went way worse than it had to be. Yeah, that was almost way worse than it had to be. My god. I'll take it. I just realized all of my games have been private. Oops. I'll need to tag with the score. let's see. Because unfortunately, I just realized that all my games have been private, and I don't know if they can check the replay from that. Hey, Becca, I have a question. Can you go in the chat right now? And can you click on one of the games that I played that was not against you? And just see if that is a watchable game. Because I know you can't search them, but can you still watch the match that I linked? Because I forgot how that works. Like if you click on the two above you, can you watch those still? While you're checking that out, because if not, I'll need to spoiler tag them with the results. For now, though, we can continue onward. We have actually a really good fairy type coming up, Spritzy. So Spritzy has a lot going for it, actually. This is, for one, it's a Trick Room setter, which is great. It's pure fairy typing, really good stats overall. 78, 60, 65 is really good bulk, and 63 special attack is nothing to scoff at. You can't get taunted, can't get encored or disabled. It also prevents the partners from doing that as well. It's good. Okay, thank God. Pure Fairy Stab is decent if you're going to go with any pure normal type on a mono type move, and Hidden Power being back is great for this. Encore Disable. I'm going to be honest, I don't know how the rest of the server feels about it, because I haven't seen anyone using Spritzy. But I think this mon actually could be an S tier. I think Spritzy unironically is like a really fucking good toolkit. I want to build a team around Spritzy, and I think like Spritzy Trapinch could be like a decent duo, because Trapinch will murder any checks to Spritzy for it. And that might be like the Trick Room partner we look for with that. No third. We could do a third if you want. I just want to pull a different team is all, because I don't want to play with the same team. At least not personally. Let me look through real quick. I did want to try Rain. What's this team? Oh, this looks kind of fun, but I don't know if I... Oh, this is too restricted. That actually is not a legal team. Masculine. Here we go. Okay. Let's do this one. Yeah. Have a good one. Have a good one, Zeke. We're gonna wrap up soon anyway. I'll probably play Becca, and then I'll probably finish off Kalos, and then we'll end off. Yeah, I'm willing to do one more game. Let me just get the challenge code again real quick. Yeah, we're doing that, and then I'll finish off Kalos, and then we're wrapping up the stream. So we'll be done in like 10. Because we don't have a lot of Kalos Pokemon left. I think we have, yeah, literally less than a whole row. Okay, so we'll switch over again. Okay, so let me look at my team real quick, because this is the first time I'm using this team. Ooh, Jetpack Voltorb is actually kind of cool. I like that a lot. Litten's decent. We have obviously the Kilo, well, the Watch Roll, I should say. Meteor Beam, Omnite, Whisper Swim is decent. And then, yeah, okay. What's my anti-fake out lead? Honestly, it might just be Litten and Riolu. Let me go like Basculin. And I kind of like Omnite in the back. Like, his team is definitely really weak to water, in particular. Yeah, we could probably make that work, actually. We'll do that. We'll do that. Let's see. Okay. So Sneasel Natu. Okay, Sneasel Natu. Thankfully, there's no fake out still. That's really helpful here. Metapen's Natu could be kind of a problem, but I'm not too concerned with it. My play is always to just go for the fake out into Natu before it gets up to Speed Control. And then I think I go for the Circle Throw to Sneasel here, and just hope that I don't die to a Bandit hit. Because that would suck. That would really suck. Alright. Let's see. Withdraws into Vulpix? Okay, that's perfectly fine. Because with Vulpix on the field, I can a lot more easily go for the... I guess I really can't, because I'm switching it off the field again. Okay. We're going to Parting Shot onto the Natu. And I'm going to Circle Throw. Because that will at least get Natu off the field, which will be really good. It will stop any sort of trick or anything going for that. Where the Gen 9 models getting put on, it's a slow process. They've at least gotten some on for what it's worth. Like the Gen 9 starters all have models. I think realistically we'll see it happen like before this year ends. Really just fucking died. Okay. Well, either way, Natu's forced out, which is really good for me. Chimchar comes in. Fuck. Okay, Becca got fake out pressure with that. I need to go into Omnite now. Oh my, this is really not a good position to be in. I think either way, this is a really shit position to be in. I'm gonna go for Meteor Beam into that single spot because everything will get punished by it. This dual flinch is gonna suck, I can't lie. Thankfully Meteor Beam goes off. I swear to God if we miss. Did Little Cup totally Duraludon. So Duraludon is one of the 2 banned Pokemon in this format, just because it's a fan format. But if it was like a regular VGC LC format, it would probably be allowed. We're gonna Helping Hand and go for Muddy Water here. Because Chimchar can't kill me. Which is great. I just need to avoid flinch. I just need to avoid flinch and I should be fine. Thank God. Oh my goodness, yeah. Shout out Omnite. Shout out Omnite. And then Natu can just last respects. And we'll go for Muddy Water because it's funny. Yeah, this team was great. This is why right here, like shit like this, like even despite the fact that we got really throttled in that early game, Basculin can save anything. I'm fully convinced this is one of the best mons in the format. And I think again, I rate it a lot higher than I feel like a lot of the staff do. I'm actually willing to even put it above like a Mischievous. I do think this mon is kind of criminally slept on. But what do I know? What do I know? To be fair, I've only played like 7 games in the official format, and I played like 4 test games with the Sneasel team when I was testing that sample. But good game, Becca. Honestly, despite the niche quality of Pokemon that you were using for most of yours, like you put up a good fight in all 3 games. Honestly, like genuinely, you did a good job. We could polish that up even with the same 6 if you want, and we could probably make that like really cook. But just hit me up after when I like get you some shorts, and I could probably help you with tweaks. For the most part, like even those 6, unironically, like you did a good job with it. I can tell that you are learning Gen 9 more, if nothing else. Especially Little Cup too. I don't know how much experience you have with Little Cup, but it is showing. Anyway, Swirlix. Let me see. So, I mean, Umbreon is kind of cool on this. Unfortunately, I just don't think it's really like a good Pokemon. But like, if Belly Drum could kind of do some decent work with like Play Rough, it's like a fast option. No Sync Natu is crazy. Don't open that up. I think Swirlix honestly gets a C tier just because it's a fairy type that's not unusable. But I wouldn't say that Swirlix is like the best option. I think it's one of the worst in this tier for what it's worth, but I think it has enough of a niche. So we'll give it a C tier. Belly Drum could kind of do some stuff. Inkay could kind of maybe do some work. I say very loosely. I mean, Contrary is not terrible on this. It's just fast for Trick Room, unfortunately. We'll give it like an E tier, I think is fair. Just because Contrary with like superpower is kind of okay and the typing is decent. Yeah, no, that's totally fair. That's totally fair. Again, I didn't think you had much. And I know you also like have only been getting into Gen 9 more recently because of like us talking. So like I honestly like the experience already shows. Like I can tell you are learning, and I am proud of you for it. Frankly, I went into those games expecting it would be a 2-0 flush like very quickly, just because I knew the team that I was using very well. And I knew that like you were learning off of this stream and the LC video that I did and the shorts that I sent you. But no, I'm impressed, especially using Chimchar. Like I fuck with that. The Chimchar did a lot. Where did I even put Chimchar? Because I think I put it in E tier. I'm actually willing to put that in D tier as well. I think I also slept on Chimchar a bit. This mon has some decent tools. It can cook. I'm not moving anything else up that you used though. The Natu and Chimchar going up a tier each is plenty. Binacle could be kind of cool. I think it's like Tough Claws and Shell Smash. Yeah, this could maybe do some work actually with like Dice or like, yeah, even outside of Shell Smash, like Dice with like, yeah, you can make that work. I'm willing to give this an E tier. I'm willing to give Binacle an E tier. Skrelp. I actually vibe with Skrelp. Where's Cosmog gonna go? One of the few restricted. So Cosmog, it's not on like this literal restricted tier list, but it is technically the only actual restricted Pokemon on this. Skrelp. I'm willing to give Skrelp a D tier actually. Skrelp having adaptability is really cool, and on top of it as well, it's adaptability, and it gets Muddy Water too, which is decent. Like Water Poison on that is a really good dual stab with adaptability. You get two good spread options with Sludge Wave and Muddy Water, or even if you want to go a single target, Sludge Bomb plus Muddy Water is cool. This is a good Pokemon, I would say. It's a good niche option to be fair, but like 30 speed is okay for Chicken. Like that's where the viable Chicken C tier start. No, Morlo would have done good if you didn't play like Sun, because Sun just made that a very easy mon to KO. But I think Morlo is like an okay E tier. Clauncher's okay. I'm willing to give this thing like an E tier as well. Again, just hits kind of hard with Mega Launcher and has a lot of good moves to take advantage of it. I won't act like the Clauncher is like the shit or anything, but I mean, 44 speed isn't too awful. And it has a lot of natural power behind it if you're gonna go with like a spec set. And it gets flickering too for pivoting. I think E is respectable for it. Yeah, no. I know Faye was talking about that at one point. But like I think, wait. Oh, Skrelp. Oh, on doubles OU? No, I've heard Faye, like, I've heard people, like, talk about Skrelp in general. Like, doubles OU Skrelp is crazy. That's insanity. Helioptile. I think Helioptile is actually kind of good. Dry Skin with, like, Glare as an electric type is decent. We don't have a lot of good electrics in general. I think Skrelp. And I think Helioptile also just being, like, a base 70 Pokemon is kind of fast for this format. And it still gets other utility, like Electro Web, for example. Dual Slap isn't the greatest, but, I mean, you still get, like, Surf and Grass Knot, which is decent coverage. For an electric type to have. They didn't even have Sun Up yet though. No, you had Sun Up because Vulpix was on the field. Because I just massacred with Flare Blitz, so I was +2 with coaching anyway. Yeah, if this thing got Weather Ball, it can maybe be like a C tier or a B tier even, but it doesn't, so we'll give it a D tier. Tyron is okay. I'm willing to give this thing like an E tier. Tyron just hits hard, and it's a decent offensive dragon. It's one of the few dragons that I would say actually could maybe be used. And also, like, we could definitely see, like, Rock Blast sets with loaded dice be kind of cool, and, like, Dragon Dance with the 89-48 spread offensively for attack and speed. It's not terrible. I think Amora is definitely the better fossil choice for sure here, though. I think Amora is actually, like, a good option. This thing with Refrigerate is probably the better choice. Like, I know it gets Snow, but you don't really use this for Snow. You use it for Refrigerate with Hyper Voice. And it's essentially, like, this tier's Sylveon, if anyone can, like, ever use that. Because you can go with either Power Meteor Beam, which is cool, or even just Throw Spray Hyper Voice, and you can get a lot out of that one. I think technically, strictly speaking, Power Meteor Beam is slightly better because of the fact, well, okay, I think it's slightly higher net result because of the fact that it gets the boost beforehand. It's essentially like a nice nuke. But Throw Spray Hyper Voice is just a lot more easy to click because it's a dual spread ice move, and there's not a lot of good ice resist. Did you not? Okay, then maybe I'm just psychotic. I thought you had Sun Up. I mean, even still, No, Becca, I'm looking at it right now. The Morlul game, you led with Vulpix Chimchar. You literally led Vulpix Chimchar to that game. Yeah, no, I just watched it back. That was your lead. And you sacked Morlul to Growlithe. Don't gaslight me. I can pull up the replay. Gumi. Yeah, no, so Amora though is a decent one. I think Amora is a B tier for sure. This is like a decent option. Oh. No, I didn't even remember that you brought us game 1, I'll be honest. I meant game 2. Yeah, I forgot you brought us game 1. Anyway, Gumi. What does Gumi actually have? I feel like Pure Dragon on a Pokemon with Gumi is kind of okay. Yeah, I mean, the stats are not that good. Coverage isn't really good because it's not Gudra's coverage. This can get an F tier. No, I didn't even remember you brought it to game 1, I'll be honest. It was just that irrelevant. Phantom. I feel like Phantom is just a worse version of the pumpkin. Yeah, I mean, it's just a worse pumpkin. Phantom can get like a D tier. Typing's still decent. It gets some good utility, like ally switch and stuff, but it's worse pumpkin. Pumpkaboo though. Now Pumpkaboo kind of cooks. I think this is actually a really good Trickemon. I'm willing to give Pumpkaboo like an A tier. This thing gets a lot of good stuff like Poltergeist, Wisp. Basically, if Phantom gets it, Pumpkaboo gets it too, but it's a lot more adaptable. Because realistically, just the bulk with the super form at like 59, 70, 55 is decent. Compared to Phantom, where you're 43, 48, 60, like Pumpkaboo is just strictly a better option there. You also could do some okay work with like a Scarf set on the other, like the small form. You get stuff like Foul Play, Disable, Explosion. Like you got a lot of utility on Pumpkaboo, and the typing is really good. I actually think this is a solid A tier. And then we have, I think it's just Noibat left. No, Bergmite and Noibat. Bergmite sucks. It's okay, but Bergmite sucks. Noibat also sucks. Easy end of the tier list. So currently, I'll do one more skim through for the tier list for anyone who's here. And while I'm skimming through the tier list for anyone who is here, reminder, the S tiers are the only 2 tiers that are sorted. So like everything starting from here and ending with here is in viability order for their tier. Everything else is just index order. And while you were here, I highly recommend as well that if anyone has not already, drop a like on the stream. It does help a lot with the promotion of the channel, and also helps just with a lot of, you know, other people seeing the content. But also I highly encourage anyone to become a member. I don't think I plugged members once in this stream. I failed at that. Next stream, we're gonna have a member goal. because I'm gonna have to take time off of doing streams for my wisdom tooth. I'm shocked I got through this whole stream without wanting to die. But that tooth hurts so much. On Friday, I'm getting that thing removed. It will be so nice. But that is the tier list so far, as I've scrolled through. We have all of the Alola through Paldeamons left to go. That's like 6 more rows of Pokemon. So we have some decent options left. A lot of good Pokemon still in this later end. Like, I would say this is where a lot of viable stuff. Like I'm huge on Pikipek, and when Pikipek comes up, I'm gonna have a monologue prepared for this Pokemon because I think Pikipek is good. I'm a huge Pikipek fan. We have Shitty Poipole, we have Ban. I'll need to set up a Ban tier for next time too, because we have some Ban Pokemon coming up. But we have a lot of good stuff in my opinion, so we'll be ready for that. Members channel, yes, 100%. I forgot the best part of members too. For anyone who becomes a member, 100% of your income for that goes strictly to Kurt and Becca directly. That's like an extra $2 per membership that go into their pockets. They split it 100%. Any of the ad money, obviously, just it's a 3-way split because the money's still not bad. But the memberships go 100% to Kurt and Becca. So if you want to support the people who make the channel work, that's who you're supporting right there with these memberships. I see none of that money. That is all their money. So if you want to support them, again, the people who make the channel work, I highly recommend it. Speaking of Kurt and Becca, though, their links are also down below. Kurt's YouTube and Twitter are down below. Kurt does a lot of single strap content. He's a really funny content creator. Kurt's one of my favorite people even before I started paying him on this website, and I'm glad that I am able to pay someone as entertaining as Kurt to do content for me. And I'm also glad to obviously support Becca, who does a lot of Twitch content here and there, and also Twitter content. While her Twitch and Twitter aren't Mons focused, she still makes incredible content. And I think Becca's also still hysterical. I'm glad to have her on as a short form editor. I think that she does an incredible job on this. And I would highly recommend if you support the people who support me. It would mean the world. With that said though, I'm gonna wrap up. I wanna ice this because this fucking hurts.